Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
He's alive!
Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? This is where the weird ones are. My name's Kevin. I will be hosting you this evening. My sister is also here. Her name's Tanya. Tanya, say hi.
Hi, I'm Tanya, and I like both of my eyebrows like individually, but I don't think they look very good together.
All right, so today on the podcast we have Callie, who is Claire, as she describes, clairaudient, clairvoyant, Claire whatever. She's Claire something. She definitely feels some things. She has some stories on stories, bro. We get a little conspiratorial. But with that, the term conspiracy theory was invented in 1964 after the JFK assassination to deter disinformation of the CIA having something to do with his murder, which they just came out and come to find out, as people have been saying for over 50 years, that the CIA had a hand in that shit. The CIA had a hand in that shit.
Word. I didn't
So
hear about that, but
yeah, they just released a bunch of documents. Why? Because everybody involved is now dead.
yeah, I didn't hear about that, but yeah, I definitely don't think there's any way that one person could have done that.
Well, it ties into MK Ultra too, because Jack Ruby is the guy that killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
Right, you gotta keep him quiet.
Yeah, and then there was a doctor that I can't fucking remember his name for the life of me, which is why this isn't the main topic of the podcast, because I don't remember everything. So, but Jack, it's said that Jack Ruby was MK Ultra and was convinced to kill Lee Harvey Oswald, to keep Lee Harvey Oswald quiet. And the doctor who was seeing Jack Ruby, guess who he also used to see?
Who?
Take a guess. He had a family of girls and one man who went by the name Tex.
A family of girls and a man.
Charles Manson, bruh. This doctor used to see Charles Manson back before Charles Manson started the fucking Manson family shit.
I'm thinking like a dude with a bunch of daughters.
I'm sorry, the way I fucking said that was fucking stupid. But yeah, no, this doctor freaking used to see Charles Manson when before he ever like even sought out those women in that text, before they went in to do those murders out in Hollywood or Beverly Hills, wherever it was that they did that. But yeah, so he was involved with He's involved with Jack Ruby and Charles Manson. Two guys who did a bunch of shit, and then they're like, I don't even remember. Like
Yeah.
Jack Ruby doesn't even remember killing Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he said in this, because he went to the jail cell and just was like, boom, and then they like tackled him. He's like, what the fuck's happening?
Ugh, wow, that's really weird.
Yeah. So, anywho, what did you think about Callie?
I thought she was really interesting to talk to. She was a lot of fun. She had a lot of interesting stories. Um, yeah, it was a good conversation. We talked for a long time.
We did. I think we might have gone over the 2-hour mark. But yeah, no, she was definitely fun to talk to. So if you guys want to follow her, she goes by Ghost Hunter Barbie on Instagram. She also is a part of a paranormal investigation group called Haunted South Florida. Brayden, you're being way too loud out there, bud. I can hear you through my microphone. But I appreciate you making me a protein shake. You're the best.
Aww.
Thanks, bud. So, Haunted South Florida is the paranormal investigation group that she's a part of. You can also follow them on Instagram. I think she said they had a website, right?
Yes. Or did she say no? Did she say they were making the website or do they already have one? She had so many different projects that she talked about that were just like getting
Yeah,
off the
she
ground.
very busy woman, very
Yes.
busy woman. Which isn't a bad thing. You know, sometimes people thrive off of being busy. So,
Yeah.
she, like I said, she was fun to talk to. I really hope you enjoy her stories, things that we talk about. Yeah. So, if you want to come onto the show, talk about your experiences, talk about fucking the Earth being flat, any of that bullshit, definitely hit me up at where the weird ones are at gmail.com, or you can follow me on Instagram where _the weird ones are. You can get my sister at tsapiel on Instagram, TSAPIEL.
Check out my weird eyebrows.
And her eyebrows are the weirdest. But anyways, this is where the weird ones are. So definitely just like, subscribe, whatever, do the fun shit. Comment, let me know what you think. I don't even care if it constructive criticism is never a bad thing. You know, you don't have to be, just because you're giving constructive criticism doesn't make it negative. All right. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy the show. Tanya, you want to say bye?
Bye.
Let's get weird.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Through with it when I'm like, oh no, if I don't listen to that instinct, then immediately, like, it's like you knew why did you do this? Like, I was in a whole 2-year ass relationship and I knew from like the first month, like I knew everything, but I didn't listen to it, and the universe is like, all right, well, now you know, so listen to that. So now I've listened to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I started recording because I didn't want to lose some of this or try to revisit it. So
all right, sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
I just threw it was like, and then I forgot. Yeah, anyhow. Yeah, go ahead.
That's one of the reasons why Christina and us vibe so well, just because she does the same thing. She just goes, she can talk and she'll provide all this detail with everything. So
Yeah, Christina and I feel like are a lot like she's kind of like my little, because to me, Christina's probably,
she said she was 31, I think.
okay. So yeah, definitely she's definitely my little. So Christina's she's younger than me by quite a bit, but she's also like she's pretty strong. She's pretty strong. I got to give her that. Like we amplify each other so much. It's crazy. It's really freaking crazy. Like it's crazy. The first audible I really heard with the team. I've heard a lot of you hear things. The problem with audibles is you don't know if you're hearing somebody. You don't know if you're hearing, especially if you have like a spirit box going or a Devon's box going, you're not sure if you're hearing that but it almost like echoes a little bit. And I have practiced to where now, like at the Devil's Tree, when we just went to the Devil's Tree again, I was hearing, like when Gina would ask a question or Christina would ask a question, I was hearing responses that I blocked out the spirit box, and I was hearing other responses. So I was saying what I was hearing. So I just put headphones on so I couldn't hear what they were saying and just responding to what I was hearing. So we kind of did a little bit of that. And it's definitely on point. Like I hear, like when they ask questions sometimes and you don't hear anything on a recorder, I can tell them, I think I can tell them what's being said. And then I think now the way we'll practice that, because this is a new, like it's kind of a new kind of thing. I think the way we should practice that, I'm thinking in real time here, is probably, because I'm trying to think like, do I headphone and write down? Like how can I, but if I just put headphones on and we record, then when we have like the boxed out the sessions, it'll repeat stuff maybe, I think maybe that's what we'll do. Yeah. But it's kind of new all the way around, because no one's ever been around like that to be able to say, yeah, I heard that too. Really. Right. Yeah. So it's cool being in the group to be able to do that.
So when you went to the Devil's Tree earlier last week, what did you end up hearing?
This time was so different. The first time we went, it was like very dark, and we heard a lot of crying and so we went with different intention this time, because I was like, girls, I took a plant, like flower, and I'm very big on like not polluting the earth, as far as like don't leave your trash. So I didn't want to leave something like any paper there. I want to be able to like leave something there for them too, maybe see if I don't know, just a gift. And we always take crystals for the girls there. I say always, both times, because we feel like it's such a tragic spot. And this time we went with a whole different intention. Instead of like heavy intention, we went with more like we're gonna like try to bring holiday spirit to them, because I mean, you got to think, in 40 years, who's came to say Merry Christmas to those girls? Like those girls, I'm sure most of them celebrated Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever the holiday, Kwanzaa, whatever it was, whatever they celebrated, or maybe nothing at all. But either way, in 40 years, who do you think has come there to say like, hey, did you like Christmas? What's your favorite Christmas song? So we tried to like make it more like that. So this time when I went, I could hear a girl, she was singing, caroling, and I could visually see her dancing, like a shadow of her in the woods dancing. But that was even what's funny, that was like a visual with being like in my Estes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In my Estes, I meditate a lot too.
Right.
So I have like a lot of out of body meditation stuff. So right. I don't have to be here to, you understand? Like, yeah, so, but I could see, it felt so much different, and I could hear them saying, oh, they're back. Look, it's the girls. Like I could hear a girl, she was really excited that we were back, and like it's the girls. And what's really funny is we asked before I even dug in the ground, because I planted a plant. Some people are like, oh, it's not a plant you should be planting, whatever. Fine, I'll dig it up next time and take it with me. I don't know, but the reality is intention is everything, right? So right, it is what it is. But before I even dug in the ground, you got to think some crazy shit happened right there. So like before you just do that, I feel like you should ask.
Mhm.
So we asked, and they didn't say anything. Gina had asked, like, is it okay? And I said, is it okay if I dig in the ground? And we get a very harsh man voice that goes, fuck you. We're like,
Oh
okay,
shit.
all right. So I'm like, if it's on, I'm digging this ground. Like, and you can feel the girls, even Christina, we feel a lot too. So Christina's like, oh, the energy. And Gina, who doesn't usually, she's like kind of the skeptic a little bit. You got to have skeptics. We're all skeptics.
Right.
We all want to debunk our own shit a lot of times, to be really honest, because
Mhm.
because you want it to be real paranormal. You don't want it to be like, oh, this is, I hate all that. Like, I'm like, I don't watch any of the shows, only one, because it has nothing to do with paranormal though, but only one show. But I don't watch the shows because I can't do the, oh, what's
Right.
this? I can't, girl, I can't. So, yeah, we heard a lot of, I heard a lot of like good energy, the girls chatting, and the one girl's like, oh, it's the girls. But we get that at Cromartie House. We get that when we go to the Cromartie House. We've been there so many times that on the Devon's box that Tim has, we get, hey girls, as soon as we come in, like they're like the energy's good there. That guy hates Christina though.
Yeah, she tells us both times she's been on, she's like, that fucking guy.
He cannot. I'm telling you, from the very first time, because I've been without her many times, and then since she's been coming, and then she joined the team. Then she came on the team. It's a different energy when she's in the house. Mm-hmm. But she has a different attitude now. She channels her Callie, her inner Callie, because I walk in like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me today? Like, I don't say it with it, but like, I'm a funny jokester anyhow. So for me, I'm just like, what are you gonna do? You gonna make some scary noises? You gonna, Christina at first would be like nervous because it's a heavy energy, and it'd make her nervous. But now the last time we went in, he didn't really mess with her, but that one time he got her good, and I heard him laughing at her. As soon as she threw up in the house, I heard him laugh at her, and I literally said, like, oh man, Christina, did you hear him just laugh at you? Like, he's laughing. Like, what a dick, man. He really hates her. I don't know, man. He really does. Like, that's crazy to say. I would think I was crazy 2 years ago. I'd be like, man, you're crazy, stop. But that dude hates her.
All right. Did you guys ever figure out what actual spirit he is?
We haven't figured out. We just call him a grumpy old man. We need to give him a name or something. We've talked about that. We talked about that a few times, like giving him a name. Yeah. We've never figured out who he is in the house. We just know that there's a lot of ladies in the house. Yeah. We know there were a lot of children in the house. We don't know if it's a Cromartie or a King, or if it was a Brian, or if it's just somebody passing through. We don't know, but he's just really grumpy. But you will get an audio sometimes of a girl upstairs or in their bathroom when Gina did her Estes there. In that bathroom, that was a really intense Estes, and she was like, he's coming. And you felt, he touched all of us, Christina. That was the night he said, he was like, drown the witch, burn the witch, or whatever he was saying, drown her, and like all kinds of stuff. And the REM pod was going off in the bathtub. Nobody was around. That cat balls are going off. Like, he definitely was up in there. But that's also before we made our presence like dominant there. Now I feel like he's like, oh man, these girls again tonight, really? Like, and he drains her. I'm like, bro, do you know how expensive these batteries are today? Do you have a clue how expensive this battery is? Is this why you drain me? It's because you trying me? Like, that's how I am with him. And so I think for me, he's just like, you're no fun. I don't scare you. Like, yeah. But then I think the whole team's gotten that way. And, we got locked in the house.
Yeah. Christina,
we got locked in the house. Like, yeah.
I think actually Gina told me too.
Yeah.
So I've had all three of you guys on here, and you guys all mentioned this guy.
We don't know.
Three from different perspectives, so it's pretty interesting to hear.
And we'll see him again. We'll see him again this month. January. We'll go by there. Actually, we'll see him a few times this month. And Gina and I went to, so the New River Inn, which is where this is at. It's like the New River Inn, the King Cromartie House, and then it's a replica school building. But the New River Inn, they host a lot of events, and on the third floor actually of the New River Inn is like an art loft. So like they rent out that space to artists, and the artists will, like, Gina and I went to support, this is what we would consider our home base, because they've been so kind to us and have done so much as far as like allowing us to like explore and increase our talents, I feel like, and educate ourselves so much, because without that, I mean, doing it, doing it over and over, anything is how you get better at doing it, you know what I mean, and making it. So they've been so generous to us, and so we try to support events when they have them as well. So we went to this artist, and actually we were allowed to go on the third floor, because usually the third floor is blocked off. We've done Estes sessions right outside of it, and we've seen shadow figures walking while we're doing the Estes sessions, but we've never been able to be on the third floor. And out of respect, we didn't take investigative equipment, because we just went there they did a little Christmas party and invited everybody. We bought some little things from the different artists and some of the artists. And, but you could feel up in that area, like you could feel the energy or whatever, but I didn't feel him there, but we took pictures. Arnie came too. Actually, Arnie did come too, because Arnie took a picture. Actually, this is where Arnie took a picture of the Cromartie house, and somebody is looking out the window of the Cromartie house. Arnie has the picture.
No way.
Yes, that night. So they're watching us from the Cromartie house, and we were like waving, like, "Hey, we'll see you in a couple weeks," like.
Low power, please charge.
Yeah, I'll have to send that picture to you too.
Low
Arnie
power,
has it.
please charge. Low power, please.
I love technology. He's either got to put a cable or switch out.
Sound weird?
Sound weird?
It's different.
Different. I wouldn't say weird, like quieter.
Damn it.
Well, that sounded fine.
Yeah, that sounded.
But you gotta say more things than 2 words at a time.
Do you hear like a fuzz with this?
Nope.
No,
that sounds fine.
That's probably just my headphones then. Hopefully it doesn't record too.
Yeah, no, it sounds fine.
All right. It was gonna throw me off though. I wish I freaking
See, look, that's what happens. The universe threw you off just like you threw me off. You see how it goes? That's how it goes.
Fucking karma.
Karma comes back in threes.
That's
Or it comes back threefold or something like that. I don't know the exact phrase.
Me either. I never know. I'm always like, I'm kind of someone was calling, listen, someone was the other day trolling our page, because you're going to get that's going to happen. And so someone was saying, I don't know, the gang might get upset. Listen, let me call it the gang. They might see now, listen, they might get upset at me, but they were calling us like Scooby-Doo gang. A couple of people got offended. And to me, I said, see, I think it's funny. I said, well, first of all, I love that growing up. So I've loved that from me. Okay. I think that's a great Halloween idea next year. Half of our team is definitely dressing up like Scooby-Doo. Okay. I've got all the cosplay anyhow. Hello, I'm an entertainer. Third of all, we have a surprise member that might be joining us soon that would maybe resemble looking like a Scooby-Doo gang, we'll say. A different perspective, perhaps a different energy that might sense energy that that can be just another tool. You understand? So
I get it.
I can't wait to I'm gonna literally do a reel of Scooby-Doo. They're gonna die. They're gonna laugh. I put it in the universe, like when we were going to the Devil's Tree. Gina's like, we should bring Lexi. It's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo. So next trip we go, I'm bringing my little girl dog. She's very like, she sees things in the house all the time. There's shit in my house constantly, bro. Like it does not let me sleep sometimes. Maybe 3:33 the other morning, I literally said on Instagram, like, hi, I woke up at 3:33 in the morning, like went to go pee. I'm walking in, my remote was on the nightstand farthest. I have a king size bed on the other side of the room. And also, if you even if you rolled over the remote, it goes to like a blank screen. It doesn't go to like Netflix or Hulu or whatever came on. Bob's Burgers came on. So that's what I think. I don't know what came on. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But I was in the bathroom and I hear it come on. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, my lights will come off and on in my bedroom. Like, whatever. I'm just like, I can't now. Like, it's aggravating.
So what kind of dog?
She's a Catahoula Hound dog, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's sleeping over there. Lexi. Yeah, she's sleeping. She's like a 45-pound hunting dog. Very, very cool. Very sensitive though. She's very sensitive. Always has been. Usually I'm like, if she likes a little weary, then I'm weary. You know, if she's all, you know, I can feel that too. And she feeds off me. Like if I'm like in not a great mood and I'm like whether I'm crying or bitchy or whatever, she feels that. Like she's like, and she doesn't like that feeling. She's like, no, she's out. Like she doesn't want to be around me being like, especially sad. There's something when I'm sad, she cannot handle. I don't know. I don't know. She cannot handle. She gets away from me as far as she can. It's weird. That part's really weird to me.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel a little anxious around her. Like,
right.
And you can't fake that, right? So you try to be like, no, mom's good. Like you feel like so like you like, but she feels it. There's nothing you can do. You can't pretend.
Right.
So we're excited to maybe take her to Devil's Tree or maybe the Redland Hotel because Will has told us that we could bring her because there's a girl that stays there that has a dog. So maybe the Redlands, which I think would be amazing.
That would be pretty cool.
That's where I think we're going to plan to take her is like the Redland and overnight at the Redland. That'd be crazy.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, just to see. I mean, that's what it's all about is just seeing what's happening, what's going on. You know what I mean? That's really what it's about.
My dog, I know for a fact that she's seen one at least.
Mm-hmm.
I was laying in bed. It was not this past summer, but the summer before. So 2021. And I told the story to both Gina and Christina now, but I was laying on my stomach. The door was behind me. She was in front of me. She had her head on my hip. And then I was just laying there and I opened my eyes and I was looking at her and she just picked up her head and like somebody was walking into my room. And then I felt weight near my feet, like somebody had sat on my bed.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I was just like in this like state of paralysis. I was like, I couldn't move. I was just like, what the fuck is happening? I can't move. I don't want to move. But like,
that's the worst.
I had this.
Not even that you don't want to move. You want to move and you can't. Like you literally are like, you can't. I've had that paralysis. And you always feel that's crazy because whenever you have that, you always feel like that heaviness and like either someone sitting down around you. That's happened to me since I was a kid too. And it doesn't happen as much now, but it's definitely happened a few times in the last few years.
Okay.
It's a terrible feeling, actually. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah, it happened to me a couple times as a kid, but as an adult, this has only been like my second time. That was my only second time.
It's terrifying when that happens.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to go back. I mean, I remember, I think the last time it happened to me was probably last summer or the summer before. I can't remember because time flies. I think it was last summer. And because I was there's a room in my house I don't like, and I was in that room. And I was sleeping in that room, and I was doing some remodeling in my room, and I was sleeping in that one. And I do not like that room in the house. I'd had it since I moved in this house. And I felt that somebody had came in. My cell phone was charging on like the bookshelf kind of that was beside the bed. And I felt like someone had came in and was like looking through like I woke up and I thought someone was like I felt someone standing beside me, you know what I mean? And I went to say, like, I have a housemate. So I went to say like their name and I was just like, hey, like I couldn't say. And I was like, I mean, I saw somebody standing there. I felt it. I saw, but it was just shadow. You know, it was like you just barely woke up. And I was like in paralysis mode. Like I couldn't say, I couldn't move. I couldn't even hardly open my eye open, or it was like, I didn't know what to do. And then it was like, it just all of a sudden just went away, you know? And then I screamed and then like yelled his name. If he had like left the room or had left whatever, it would have been, but I hear him snoring like down the freaking hallway. And I'm like, who was that? Who was over here over top of me? So I could not literally move. Like, so that Yeah. And I have a video on YouTube actually, because I used to do YouTube videos a long time ago, where I was in this room and it happened right here, actually, literally right here. There's a face in a mirror, and I take 2 pictures back to back, and it's on the wall, and I have no flash on. It's literally 2 pictures back to back within seconds. There were 3, but one there was nothing. But it's on the wall, and then it's on the mirror, and it's turned completely, and some people say there's, so, like my boyfriend would be like, he hates this, so he freaking hates all of this. So he would say, oh, you're just whatever, but reality is, I mean, you can see a whole ass face if you look at it. You can see it. I'll send you that too. I'll send you stuff. But
Okay.
I mean, I see shit like that all the time now. So I mean, I have. The more you open it up too, it's really
Oh yeah, for sure.
now.
Especially
when you amplify it with a team, like, because I don't know, your energies maybe amplify it, crystals and shit. I don't know what amplifies it, but man, I'm telling you now, like, I mean, I'll hear people say like Callie in the house, and I'll be like, yeah, like nobody's home, nobody's here. So
wow.
Yeah, and you attract people like that too.
Do what you attract people like that? Is that
yeah, you attract more people whenever your vibration is higher and you're surrounded with that. You attract more like-minded or more people that are like that. You know what I mean?
So like when you're on each frequency is when you tend to find somebody on your same vibration. Like, have you ever read the Hermetica?
No.
So it basically describes that life is nothing but vibration and energy.
Okay, cool. I'm checking it out for sure.
Yeah, and there's hermetic principles
on
how to live life and stuff, and it's so interesting to read. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I'm in the process of reading it, and it's pretty interesting. It's dated back to before Christ.
Cool.
So
yeah, I'm all about I feel energy. I drive a convertible so that I can literally, like, today is so good because like it's still a little cool out in Florida for us. Like it's still cool out, and so like I have the top down, and like like I feel energy. I feel the trees, especially in my hands. You know what I mean? So if the top down in the tree, like I can like feel that. I don't know if other people can't. It's on them. I don't know how to explain it. And people just look at me like, what is she doing? I'm like, I'm just soaking up the good vibes, bro. I'm just soaking it all in because, I'm like I said, I walk in the light. I got a bubble. I'm not afraid of. A lot of people, like Christina, for example, and Gina, they both like to like sage, and they don't want anything attaching to them. They, that's how they believe. And I don't feel like anything can attach to me. Like I have a complete different mindset with that. I don't feel like. I just don't feel like it can. I don't know why. Maybe that's just because I think I'm a bad bitch. I don't know, but I don't feel like anything. I mean, I just feel like there's nothing in the paranormal. First of all, if anything was going to really, really hurt us, don't you? I mean, for me,
we've already done it.
People be dropping dead like crazy. Don't you think people just dropping dead? If ghosts are going around like just want to kill us, don't you think people just be dropping dead like, oh, I don't like you, ha ha ha, fuck you? Like that's what happened in reality. That's the way I look at it logically. If I'm going to look at it logically, so for me, it's like, what do you think you're gonna like? What do you? I mean, maybe I shouldn't say it like that. I don't know, but I feel like once again, intention is everything, and how you feel. I believe in manifestation. 7 years old. I used to watch this movie on repeat. Okay. And I would say, in the opening scene is Fort Lauderdale, Florida, home of the Spring Breakers. And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to live there one day. I'm going to live there. I would just say, oh, and my dad would be like, okay, like whatever. Totally forgot about all that. Just forgot about it. Watched it for years, whatever, VHS, doing your little rewind shit, watching and I'm down on Las Olas at the Elbow Room. I'm 44. So I'm down on Las Olas at the Elbow Room. Like I moved here 22 years ago. So I'm hanging out like 10 years ago. And it's like where the boys are, 1984 reunion or where whatever anniversary. And I was like, what? It was filmed right at the Elbow Room. I'm like,
no shit.
I really did it. Bitch, I did it. What? I did it. Like, and then that's when I was learning about manifestation and shit. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like that's real. And my life, everybody's like, oh, you live this like like not the ghost hunting part of it, but the other life is I live a very carefree, you know, I'm at the beach every morning, I meditate, I yoga, I kind of do what the fuck I want in life. I kind of just go through life doing what I want, and like not in a shit way. I'm good to others, I'm kind to others, I give back, I work with wildlife, I clean up trash off the beach every morning, and I feel like, once again, intention is everything. And I feel like because I give good energy, I receive it back, even investigating, especially when I'm investigating. Like, our whole team is about that, though. We don't want to like poke and prod and be like, we're not trying to entice. So when I say I go in and I talk to Cromartie, the Cromartie man, whoever, the grumpy old man in the Cromartie house, and I'm like, what's happening? You think you're gonna do? Like, I'm not trying to entice. I'm just telling him, like, man, come on, but why can't we be friends? You know, like, we just want to talk to you, man. Like, we just want to have fun. We're just here to have a good time with you.
Right.
You know?
I feel like that's the point for a lot of investigators is investigating. A lot of this stuff is just, it's fun for them.
Yeah,
And
that's the whole thing.
it definitely seems that way with you guys.
We try to make it fun too. We don't need to be
Yeah.
so like, why so serious? It doesn't have to be so serious and all the, you know, some people don't like that we make it fun. Some people think that we're ridiculous. And I mean,
Yeah.
some of them, like today's reel, oh my gosh, the Ouija board, like, sorry, we cannot connect you to the demon. That is hilarious. That's hilarious to me. I'm sorry. Gina is amazing at our reels. She is incredible. I have to give her that. She is fire. That's who the credit goes to for those reels. That's
nice.
I don't know. I mean, she wants it out there like that, but she's fire. So some people think it's cheesy, some people think it's dumb, they don't like it. I mean, we of course have our haters, you're going to.
Yeah, no matter what you do, there's gonna be some kind of hate.
Yeah, that's how you know you're doing right.
Yeah,
I mean, and Cat Williams say, if you don't have a hater, you better go out and get you 10 of them, because I mean, or whatever he says, because that's the reality. Listen, I've worked on the internet since really 1997, about 97, I guess. I have heard it all. You hear it all. I mean, even now, to me, I don't get as much. Like, now it's like, and the more sensitive you are to it, I feel like the more you get it. You know what I mean? Like, trolls are going to troll. Like, I tell people, imagine, bro, I'm so busy. I can't imagine working a 9 to 5 like some of these people do. Like, my whole team almost, they have like, I call it real job. You know, like, you go to work, you do the corporate life, corporate America, schedule all this events in, and I'm like, how do y'all live? You got what? You a kid? How do y'all function? Like, I feel like I don't have enough time in the day. You know what I'm saying? So imagine that all you have in your life in the daytime is to sit around and go to random motherfuckers' pages and write shit. Like, you gotta feel bad for that person. Like, man, you need some good energy. Like, for real. Like, just block and go on. Keep it moving. I'm not gonna fight with you.
Low frequency people will try and bring high frequency people down to their level.
Energy vampires. Vampires is not just folklore. People think vampires is some folklore shit. And if you look at it like from an energy standpoint, right? If you look at it from an energy standpoint, a vampire needs to suck blood off of something or somebody in order to strengthen themselves or to survive, correct? Like, that's part of it, right? Well, it's the same way with energy. An energy vampire, they're all in a bad mood. They feel like shit, whatever. So they're doing their fucking whatever, and then they take it out on you. Well, now, if you come back and you're upset, all of a sudden they got a little bit of pep in their step because they just took your good energy from you. So now all of a sudden you're giving them your good energy because you pissed off now. They give you their bad energy and you're exchanging. No, I'm not exchanging that with you because, man, I ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Waste of time for that. But I had to learn that. I used to fight with those people. I used to need to make a freaking point. I used to do all that, but man, it's just like, I learned early on, and some of the girls on the team are going to be new to that critique, and it's a little bit hard. Or guys, we had one of our members, people just say things sometimes, report your stuff, or I mean, I had a whole ass Instagram account taken down I was an influencer with it was crazy, with a lot of brands, and my whole account got taken down. And what are you supposed to do, because people hate and report shit that's not even, it's crazy, like, it's insane. So you get a couple haters, you get a group of haters, it's kind of, you got to try to weed through that. So we had that recently a little bit.
Haters kind of like fuel a fire within you to
do better,
right? And
to prove them wrong,
like,
to
you're
show
just
them,
like, watch this, bitch.
Yeah, like see what's gonna happen next. Like, watch.
Yeah,
Because you know they're gonna
nobody
keep
will.
watching.
Right. No, because nobody's gonna watch you more intently than somebody who dislikes you.
Is trying to watch you fail, and they
Right.
get so mad when you're like. That's how you know when they're mad when you're popping, because that's when they got to say some shit when they're freaking mad. That
Exactly.
You're doing well.
Exactly. Tanya, I wanted to ask you earlier when we were talking about sleep paralysis. Have you ever? I don't know if you've ever told me, but have you ever experienced sleep paralysis?
Not like anything super intense. I did. So I had a boyfriend a while ago who lived in this apartment.
You had a boyfriend? I'm just kidding. Go
I
ahead.
know,
Go
right?
ahead. Go ahead.
Weird that somebody would be interested. But anyway, he lived in this apartment, and this is the only place that I've ever experienced any kind of sleep paralysis, was when he lived here and I would stay with him. So it happened a couple of times actually. I would wake up and I couldn't move, and I would like try to say his name to wake him up, and I couldn't make noise with my throat. And then I was trying everything, to force get my brain to just force my body to move, to like at least an arm to like smack him to wake him up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. And then all of a sudden, like I didn't have any weird so when I was having the actual paralysis, I didn't have any weird hallucinations about anything. And then I would just come out of it, and then all of a sudden I could move and whatever, and everything was fine. I did have like one weird night where I woke up and it was dark in the room, obviously, and I looked over and he was sitting up in bed, and I thought it was kind of weird. Like, I just kind of stared at him for a second, thinking like maybe he was going to say something, maybe he was, going to get out of bed. Like, I didn't know what the deal was, what he was doing.
Right.
And he just sat there and didn't move. So I went to reach up to touch his back, to just kind of like rub his back, thinking maybe he was just like upset and just needed some comfort or whatever. And my hand just like went right through him. And then I like looked next to me, and he was still like lying in bed. So I was just, whatever I saw sitting up in the bed was not my boyfriend. And in that same apartment, I had some weird, like, I heard like laughing, like giggling, like in the corner of the room and stuff. And it was just that. But once he moved out of that apartment, I never had anything like that again.
Maybe something was attached to his stuff. Maybe sometimes I think like where you saw him sitting up, right? And where you went to go through, maybe, right? So maybe he's on a different, does it make like sense if I say like a timeline, a different, like,
yeah,
like maybe, does that make sense? Like, so I do a lot of photography, like on the beach in the mornings, or I sun gaze, and like some other, I'll be like, oh, do you see this? And I'm like, no. Or in my pictures, will be like, how do you see that? I'm like, how do you not see that? You know what I mean? So maybe on a different frequency, vibration, timeline, whatever you want to call that. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure all that shit out too. Like, I can't, but maybe it was more like that. It could have been, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense too, because I know there's a theory that that's actually like what ghosts are, is that it's not like the soul of a person who's died. It's just you seeing a different timeline as it happens in that timeline.
And we just had this conversation in our, I say the girl gang in our group. We have a little girl, group, whatever. Sorry, boys, be mad. And I mean, not everybody's included, but it's just because like we're close little like, because we talk dumb shit all day, stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Gina's talked about her SSP to you all. That's her production. That's her. We just like to talk. We're girls. So but we were just talking about that the other night when I was coming home. I saw a lady across the street, like run across the street, and it was like dark, and all I saw really was like her dress, mostly the shadow, like her figure, the dress. But I saw her step off the side, like the median, not the sidewalk, the median. And the guy beside me is like gunning, and I'm like, yo, you don't see this girl running across the street? And then she runs, and like I'm kind of, and then she just disappears, and I'm like, oh. So I tell the girls that literally I'm like in audio, like, hey, I can't drive. I'm driving right now, but guess what I just saw? Like, cause this is like 11:50 at night. Like, you're not messaging the whole group. So I'm messaging the girl gang because so I'm like, guess what? I just saw a girl run across the street. Like, and they're like, yeah. And then we're like talking about like, wonder if it was like ghost or if it was like just a different timeline. Like she's running across like a different timeline. You know what I mean? So that's interesting. That's very interesting. That's terrible when you go to like touch, like you said, slap them. I did that with my ex too one time in bed with him. Like try to be like say their name or try because you're terrified. That's a terrifying feeling.
Yeah, I had never at that point. I was in my early 20s and I had never heard of sleep paralysis before, so I did not know what was happening to me. It was very scary.
Terrifying. You don't even want to go back to sleep. Like you don't even want to go back to sleep.
Right. When I experienced my first time, I was like 9. So, and I didn't know why I couldn't move.
I was about that age.
So it was really weird. We were actually, Tanya and I were sharing a bedroom. We had a bunk bed, and I was sleeping on the top, and I don't even think I didn't see anything. I just like all of a sudden felt this overwhelming feeling of dread. And I just laid there as straight. I had the blankets tucked up to my neck, and I was just like, there's something.
It's so
I just
scary.
felt
Like
like
I feel you
there.
right now, honestly, because I feel energy. Like I feel you're like, like I can explain it. It goes like, get it out of me.
The only thing that I could do, because I mean, I had the blanket up to me, and the first thing that I did when I felt it, I just grabbed my blanket and just pulled it up like this, and then I got stuck right here, and then I couldn't move, and my body.
Like I'm physically getting hot right now. Like I feel you right now. Like that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Are you empath, Claire, anything? Claire, anything?
I don't. I'm not Claire anything. I don't know.
I'm not Claire. I'm not.
Maybe empath of some kind.
I think any of us that are into, I mean, there are just your techies, right? That are just tech, like, or that just are like, Tim thinks he's just techie. Tim is, well, I call him our mentor. Tim doesn't want to be called a leader of the group, but he helped form the group. Tim is very
the one that
humble.
brought you guys all together
we were all students of his. We were all pretty much students of his. He has one girl on the team was like worked in the medic field with him, so he's known her for a long time. And then another girl on the team, she owns the Last Chance Saloon. She owns that bar that we go to down right before the Keys.
Nice.
And the rest of us, every single one of the rest of us were students of his at some point. And we've actually, he always like credits us with like, we've given him a whole different way of teaching, even showing him a different side of it, showing him like, he used to say like, oh, well, the old groups he was with, they would be like, oh, you do say like we love to do public events only because I want people to feel what I felt. See, I have never been to one of these. I've never been to a ghost tour. I will put it that way. Like I had never been on a ghost tour. The very first event I had ever been on, besides like as a kid, a Ripley's thing or whatever, and those are like ghost tours to me, right? But like they didn't do ghost tours back then. You'd go on a tour, you go to the museum, but they weren't ghost tours, So I had never been on a ghost tour. The first thing I'd been to was the event at the Cromartie House, actually, the New River Inn. And what got me interested in it, Gina and I have been homegirls for a long time. And Gina was just like, hey, are you gonna go do this ghost hunt thing with me? And I was like, man, whatever. So I hadn't seen her in like 2 years, actually, because the pandemic and everything happened. And I was like, bet, let's go. I'll go. Cool. So we went, and I was just like, she's like, Gina brings her she's like, okay, so she has her literally, I can remember her little backpack, like not even a backpack, like a little fanny pack, like this big. And it had, she's telling me, she's like, you don't watch any ghost shows? I'm like, no, but she knows. We talked about my like clairvoyancy and stuff, and like all the weird shit that's happening to me in my life. My life is a movie. When I tell you my life is a movie, it is a movie. I'm going to be on MTV this year, by the way. Watch for me.
MTV?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna be on MTV.
What's the show?
I can't say that yet. Secret.
Oh.
But there might be some paranormal related stuff on it, like
it
might have to do about my relationship. You understand? So,
yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So it's I have a contract, so I can say anything, but I'm allowed to say that I will be on there. So anyhow, shoot, I lost my train of thought with that. And I had like, I used to do like stuff like that all the time. They came to me. I had no interest in like, I'm kind of over that. I kind of went off the internet. This kind of all just happened or whatever. But anyhow, Gina was like, okay, you don't want to do the shows? You don't do this? I'm like, no. She's like, okay, well, this is an EMF and this is a K2. And this is like, she's like explaining these couple little devices to me, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. Sounds great to me. Like, okay. So we go in and Tim has all this shit laying out everywhere. And it's like, she's like, oh my God, that's an obelisk. They use that on this show. Oh my God, that's DR60. I'm like, all right. Oh, do you know what an SLS is? I'm like, I mean, besides Mercedes, no, I know what an SLS is. Mercedes got you the SLS at the Vegas, but that's what I know SLS. You know what I'm saying? So then, but Tim was really cool and was like Tim was like, here, take it, use it, play with it. You're like, she's like, we're gonna use this obelisk. So as soon as we walk outside, we go to by the schoolhouse. It's like, children, look up. Like, we're like, what the like? I'm like, now I'm like, when they came in. Like, and it just started. Then it became like we started using all the tools, and then we started going to all the different things. And Tim is what really created. I feel like helped create all of us to be like, instead of it just being like, oh, let's go do this thing. It became. I mean, Gina was pretty interested. Is very interested, and is our group historian mostly, but. Reality, like Tim gave us the confidence and like the knowledge, he had no problem sitting and talking to us instead of it just being a ghost story. Like, here's a K2, go run around. Oh yeah, you're dinging lights. Yeah, good for you. Here, listen to my DR. Listen. That I can't do that. And so when we went to do events, I said, listen, straight up, that shit, I want people to experience what I felt. Because then afterwards, I have been to other parties, events will say that like, they are just like ignoring you and have nothing to do with and you're just like, well, but I have questions like what is what you're doing? Can I do it? Like, since I started that way, I expect that. And when you don't get that, you're like, well, I mean, y'all dicks. Like, so I want everybody to experience what we experience. It's like, I want you to be part of the team. I don't want you to feel like you're a guest. I want you to be part of the team when you come with us. We want that, we want that a lot. That's nice. How we tried to form this group. So it's not like just hey, look at us, look at what we do. It's like, hey, come do it with us. We want to show you how cool this is. We want you to feel how exciting it is to get your own recording on your phone. Like, use your phone, use your voice recording on your phone. You don't have to go buy bougie equipment today. Use this. We want you to get an audio. We want you to get a video. We want you to send us something and be like, holy shit. Like Arnie, before he was on the team, I'm doing a dowsing rod session and he came to an event and he's sitting over there and he's taking a video. And I don't know where the radio is in the room. I have no clue at the Cromartie house. I really don't, because it's an old ass, Yeah. I didn't know it was behind me on this side. I'll see the bicycle on the wall. Or maybe that's somewhere else, but that's at Redland. But I'll see something on the wall. I'll point to the piano across the room, point to the door, point to the picture over here. I don't see this back here. So I never think to say that. And he's got a video of him asking me, can you point to the radio? And I'm like this. And it's like, I feel it trying to move. And I'm like, our guest has asked, can you please point to the radio or the music box or whatever? And it's literally just says, it's going all the way here. And he's like, wow, like, he's like, what? And then I'm like, where's the, I'm like, it's right there. Like, and I still get amazed when it happens. I'm like, I still get amazed. And I had a kid recently at Gold Coast. I had a kid recently at Gold Coast who was so excited. I let him use dowsing rods. I feel like are stronger when they're bound to somebody, kind of. I kind of feel like that. So mine work. I mean, I can put them right in my hands right now. We can go. I don't have to. We can go, right? But if I get a new set, I might have to like focus. So I was letting a kid use them because he wanted to use them. He was a young kid. I would say probably 10 or 12, and he's trying to ask questions, and he's really concentrating and holding them. There's a little bit of energy, but they listen to me. I feel like, because they're mine. So I say, our guest has asked, and I start walking to the back of the train, like, can you just follow me? And they start moving. He's screaming as, Mom, I'm not moving them. I'm not moving them. And I'm like, I love seeing that, because I still feel that way. I'm like, guys, I'm not moving these. I'm not moving these. I'm not moving them. Like every time.
That's awesome. So I know what dowsing rods are, but you want to just like give a brief.
I wish I had mine right here. Actually, I have them in the other room. They're like right over there. Dowsing rods are, I mean, I guess you can get them out of different materials, but mine are copper. Mine are copper because they're good conductors of energy.
Right.
And they were actually invented to find water. That's what they were for. So we don't use them around water because it can throw off the energy too. You know, if you use them around water, it might not work right. So it's going to point kind of towards the water. So you actually have to point towards the water. It's probably going to point towards the water because that's what it was for. But they're very good conductors of energy. So, you know, when the energy's there, and you can feel when the energy leaves them. I mean, if you've used dowsing rods, I don't know if you have, but if you've used dowsing rods, you can feel the energy. I can actually have them brought to me, my dowsing rods. Give me just a second. I'll bring them to me so I can have them brought to me. My dowsing rods are very cool. I love my dowsing rods. They're my favorite. Nice. Everybody when they come to an investigation, like everybody wants to see certain things.
Right.
There's certain things they want to see. Everyone wants to see a DR60, everybody, because I mean, hi. Me and technology are not friends. So that's why I'm more metaphysical. Like I just, we're just not friends. If you don't understand, my brother, my ex, they'll all tell you, like, I'm asking you right now. Off the table. There we go. Yeah, the electronics, my phone will just stop working. After my very first investigation, that one that I went with to Tim, the next day my phone was doing some weird, I have a video of that too. My phone was texting people, random shit, calling people, doing random shit. Like I just take it into Apple and they had to give me a new one. It just something.
Wow.
To fuck my phone up.
The ghost fucked your phone up.
I guess at the Cromartie house. He got
in your phone. He's like,
telling you.
Bitch.
That's exactly that guy. Man, does he understand how much new iPhone costs? I'm about to tell him that next time. I'm gonna say, sir, you're lucky I have Apple Care. You're lucky that it's only $100 to get a new phone through Apple Care. By the way, not sponsored, but that is a great service, by the way.
Yeah,
and it's unlimited. Did you know that? It's unlimited now.
Now I feel like I should get it.
It used to be only 2 phones or 2 I get on any device. They used to I paid monthly for it too. I'm not paying like the $200 for the year or whatever. I just pay like monthly $10, $15 or whatever it is. But you can put that on your phone. You could drop it 1,000 times. Well, maybe you don't really do it, but it's only $100 every time.
Wow.
Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's good news for me. I'm currently trying to get on Apple Music, trying to get this show on Apple Podcasts actually.
On the podcast?
Yeah, since we're on the Apple subject.
So how does that work with when you're going to do a podcast like that to get it on to something like that? Do you have to have so many subscribers? How does that work?
So you have to use a host site. So Castbox is my host site, and then they give you an RSS code, and so like right now with Spotify, so I get this, I subscribe to Spotify. And as a podcaster, so you don't have to pay for it,
right?
So you're a creator, and then you put the RSS feed into Spotify, and then so Castbox being the host, that's where I upload every episode to, and then Castbox will kick it out to Spotify. So right now Apple Podcasts, however you want to fucking call them, they're reviewing my show, right? They're reviewing on Castbox right now.
You have to put it in for like review, and then they approve or deny it,
right? So Spotify didn't do any of that. They just were like, yep, cool.
Yeah, I think with most podcasts like Spotify, you're right on. I have friends that have podcasts. I've been on I've like helped with a podcast that might be coming in the very near future too as well. So yeah, there may be something like that. We have a lot of stuff coming out. I mean, personal projects too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah. So
being busy is never a bad thing.
No, it's not.
Doing what you love.
Yeah, especially when you're doing the stuff that you love to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm tied in with the corporate America right now, where I'm working 12 to 14 hours a day.
It's stressful, man. I did it. It's terrible. It's honestly terrible.
It sucks.
I mean, if you love doing it, I worked in a camera store. Like I used to, Ritz and Wolf Camera were like camera stores back in the day.
Yeah.
And I mean, nobody uses a camera anymore. I mean, I have that's what I went to school for, and I literally use my iPhone because there's no reason to carry a camera around for real. I mean, for there are certain occasions for it, but I'm saying like for all the time use, you know what I mean? So just camera stores don't exist anymore, but that's like I said, I think I said that early on too, but
Yeah, you did.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, what, if you can remember at all, what do you recall of being your first ever experience with paranormal?
There's a few things, so I don't know, like they all happened kind of around the same time.
Mhm.
So I don't know because they were when I was little, so I don't know which one was like first. So I've always seen a little boy. He's tied to my mother somehow. I don't really know how. My
Mhm.
mother sees him as well. When I became estranged from my mother, I stopped seeing him. So growing up, I would see him in the house.
Okay.
And then even when I moved away, I would still see him sometimes. But since I've become estranged from her, I don't see him anymore. So I would see that little boy. I remember when my granny passed, I don't know what year that was. That was my daddy's grandmother, so my great grandmother. That's probably maybe 5 or 6. And the night that she passed, she was like sitting on the end of my bed. And I was like, I remember her sitting there. My grandparents' house in Pennsylvania, I have a recurring number that comes to, I see it multiple times a day. I'm actually an hour off. I looked up, it's 708, but the number I see is 808. I see it so much. It's actually, I'm very in with me. I do, like, not that I do music, but I listen to a lot of music. I hang out in studios, and so 808 is very prominent in studios and studio work too, in music. And 808 was their house number. So like my mom sees 808, my sister sees 808, my niece sees 808, especially since my grandparents have passed. A lot of us see 808 multiple times a day. And then people who become really close to us see it, like Christina now will see 808, we'll send 808 to each other now because we are somehow bound, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, weird shit. I don't know whatever you want to call it. But Christina and I are very like linked like that, that she'll say, oh, 808, or I'll send her 808, you know, kind of like we see at the same time a lot. But at that house was really where everything really set in. My grandmother was a practicing, not outwardly because nobody would be okay with it, but was a practicing witch. Maybe not always the good kind.
Oh.
My grandfather was like such like a lovely human that it was such a weird yin and yang. There was a lot of dark in that house, which is probably why my mother has some of the issues that she has. Which is why we're estranged too, because like you have to, you know, you got to be kind to people that you just got to be kind to people. So that house had a lot of dark energy in it, and I saw a lot of things. That was the first time I experienced sleep paralysis, was in that house around that time too. And that was probably the first time that I can really remember being like terrified of seeing something. Like before that, if I saw the little boy, because I'm trying to think, I've seen him my whole life. It was like not anything. I wasn't scared of him. It wasn't a fear. It wasn't a fear. And I wasn't afraid of anything. But like in my grandparents' house is a really old house, really, really old house too. And I was sleeping in a guest room, like in one of the guest rooms, and the room I would stay in when I go up there, and they didn't have central heat and air. They just had heat. They didn't have air. So like in the summer, it's so freaking hot, and they keep the windows open upstairs. And I remember like it was curtains, like breezy white curtains, you know, in the breeze and shit. And like I woke up multiple times that summer that I was there in that room with the same kind of experience with a man. You'd see him standing in the closet, and he had like kind of like a cape kind of figure on. You could see a face. You could see like a white, almost skeletal, almost face. You could see, but everything else was dark, like completely dark.
Like
And
he was
flowy.
wearing a cloak kind of thing.
Like like flowy kind of. And you would see him in the closet. And a lot of times, you know, as a kid, you think you see things. So you're like, I don't think, you know,
Oh yeah.
They're spooky stories, you know, like whatever. So you're like, no, no. And then he touched me, like he grabbed my arm at night, like he held me down. Like I still to this day, I was like around 7, can feel his arm, his hand wrapped around my arm, like holding me down, and me trying to scream, like Papa, like trying to scream, and I couldn't. And I mean, I was being held down. I remember trying to like, and being so freaking terrifying. Still feel the breeze, like I feel all that moment still, and like. And I remember him saying, like, I'll be back. And like every night I would wait. I was like so scared. And sometimes I saw him and sometimes I didn't. But that scared the shit out of me as a kid. That scared me. And then in that house also, there was, we would call him the bald-headed man because he was bald-headed. And you would open the cellar door and like look down the steps because he might be poking his head around the steps. And like they would joke with me about that. I'd be like, I'm terrified. There's a bald-headed man in the cellar. They'd be like, go take a shower in the cellar. I'm like, you got me fucked up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there's an old ass bald-headed man. There's a drain in the middle of the cellar too, and a toilet. I don't know. That's just too much for me. That's too much. And someone can come in down the side of the house and that little door. I'm good on that. I'm from the country. We don't have all that weird shit. That's No, that was weird. So, but there was a bald-headed man in the cellar, and he would never would talk. He would just like look at you and like grin at you, and even if you're like on the toilet or like in the shower, like I was always like peeking out the shower, making my sister go with me down there because I was terrified of that house. Scared the shit out of me. And
I bet.
My grandma would play Ouija with me there. So when everybody would go to bed, my grandma had a Ouija board that she had hidden and that everybody thought she didn't have. And she would play with me like as a game. So she, I think, knew because she's very strong. I wish, honestly, now that I understand taking my talents to South Beach, and now that I understand my talents, I wish I could talk to both of them, because both of my grandmothers, because they both have different things that are similar. And I feel like now she almost used me as like, you know, the board. You kind of, I mean, I have a board, an original from 1919 I bought this year, actually. It's like one of my prized possessions. And people have different feelings on boards, but mine I feel is very good energy. Even Christina was she wasn't going to touch a board at all, and now she feels fine with it. Like it works. It's warming up to us. You know, it's going to take a minute, but my grandma's board was wild, and it just reminds me like it's the same type of board she had. It's the old a wooden one from 1919, the original, and she would take it out. She would hide it until Papa went to bed, and then we would play Ouija. And now in hindsight, like I think she was conjuring up somehow her mom, which I would watch. I've talked about this a few times, but I would watch her. I tell Papa, like, grandma's downstairs talking to somebody. He's like, no, just go back to bed. Like, no, she's downstairs. No, she just can't sleep. She's down there playing she played this stupid little game. I don't know, some stupid game, poker game. And she's just down there playing poker, and she drank. Like she would sit after noon. She'd have her old Milwaukee's Beast,
living her best life.
Yeah, so she would just drink and play her poker game. She gave no fucks about anything else. So he's like, she's just down there, and I'd be scared. Maybe I watch Tales from the Crypt with him. He watched shit like that with me at night, and like, you know, Return of the Killer Clowns and shit like that. So I was just like, he's like, oh, just whatever. So, but I would hear her. So one night I look down the steps, and she's rubbing this old lady's back on the couch. I'm like, what is she doing? Like, I didn't say anything because I was scared. I didn't want to get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, so I remember telling my papa there was an old lady down there. Like, she was rubbing some old lady's back. He got that for years. Everybody told me I was crazy. I mean, I saw it multiple times, and come to find out, when I was able to talk to her about it, even when I got older as an adult, nobody could say, oh, you can't talk to her about this or whatever. She told me that was her, you know, that was her mom, and that's what she would do. You know, she would, like, I mean, I would see it. Everybody else thought my grandma was crazy. My grandma was committed. Everybody thought she was crazy, but like, I saw it happen. I watched her rubbing that lady's back. Like, I watched it happen. I mean, I never met my grandmother, and she passed before I was born. I'm for sure. I never met her. So, but the description and what I saw multiple times, that old lady was laying there. So whatever you want to call that, my grandma was crazy. They committed her for that. She wasn't crazy. I saw it like firsthand.
Wow.
So that's probably all and then I closed it off for a long time.
I mean, naturally, it's
scary.
that young. Yeah.
Yeah, and then people tell you you're crazy, or they
Yeah.
want to like put you on medication. Like for real, I mean, I didn't want to be on you got to be scared. Man, you go to a therapist, you tell them you hear audible, they're like, bro, let's put you and then medication. Are you kidding me? Like you want to talk about like I know the difference of when I'm being like listen, I can be a crazy bitch. Like reality, I mean I can be a crazy bitch. So I know the difference between a crazy bitch session and hearing something because I'm in tune with something. I know the difference. Like I'm not trying to be like funny, or I'm not trying to be like, no, I'm not like whatever. It's like I know what I know the difference.
Right.
I guess they say all crazy people say that, but
well, and medication just lowers your vibration and your
Hey, we
frequency.
understand.
That's why they like to keep us medicated on
Amen.
chemical drugs,
Yeah, for real.
engineered drugs, so that we cannot connect with spirit and we cannot connect with our inner light. And
yeah, I agree with that.
So you don't want to get tied into that shit anyway.
When was your first?
I've never had a therapist be like, you need to be medicated. Well, actually, I don't think it was a therapist, but I definitely had. It might have been like the school guidance counselor. It was like, you ever think you're bipolar? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then he said, well, I definitely think you have ADHD. And then my clinical doctor back then was like, you don't have ADHD. I was like, all right, cool.
Well, you also have to understand, think about this, especially now, they keep us so overstimulated. How do you not have ADHD?
Dude, all the time.
Bro, I can't even, I tell the girl, like, I said, I cannot be on the, like, my job is to be on the internet, you know, besides the ghost hunting stuff, my job as an entertainer is to be on the internet. I got to get my content scheduled. I've got to post, you know, and it's like,
right.
I got to talk with people as part of it, you know, and it's like, they keep us so, I mean, the kids, these, like my nieces that are teenagers, bro, they don't even look away from their phone. They used to talk, when I was a kid, I don't know how old you guys are, but when I was a kid, they used to talk about the mark of the beast, right? They used to be like, oh, you're going to have this mark of the beast. They're going to put an implant in you. They're going to put your barcode. They're going to put, I literally wanted to get tattooed. I used to be like a punk rock girl.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be like scumfuck, anarchy. Like, I used to want to put a barcode on my neck. And I used to want to put like there's a quote from Social Distortion, and it says, I'm born to lose and destined to fail. I wanted to get that across my back. Like, yo, I was a punk rock girl back in the day. Y'all be like, what? Like pink mohawk, bitch, punk rock. Fuck. And yeah, so back then, you know, shit, what were we talking about? Fuck.
Shit.
Tension.
What?
Keeping us distracted.
Oh, distraction. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, they were talking. Thank you. They were
Speaking
talking
of.
about like, oh, you're gonna get the tattoos of your social on you. You're gonna have a mark on you. You know the prophecies of that. I said, or you're gonna get a chip implanted. I'm like, bro, we carry it around all the time. Hello, like we carry it. I mean, we can literally be talking about this, and later, if you go on anything, we're going to see ads for stuff we talked about sitting right here.
For sure.
Like you'll start seeing it.
Yeah, for real. I used to think that was I mean, there are some conspiracy theories that I believe, but like I used to think that was a conspiracy theory.
No,
but there was like a year ago, I think it was. I was like I was doing something with my tools, and I just like as a joke, I just said, you know, call me Tim Taylor, I'm the tool man. And then like the next day I had a Facebook ad for like, I guess like Tim Allen's new show. There was like a home improvement crossover, and I had an ad for that, and I have never looked up either of those shows or anything. And you're about like, Tim Allen.
On, man.
Yeah, it was like the day after I said that. So I was like, oh, my phone's listening. I believe that one now.
1,000% all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that created MySpace, right? Like I have friends that literally developed MySpace.
Yep.
Well, a friend that was part of the crew that developed MySpace. And she will straight up tell you like that was one of the worst things that we have ever done with is this social media craze. Like we have literally thank you. We have literally we've fucked ourselves. Like there's some good to it, obviously. But like for me, I can understand, much appreciated. I can understand like you know, like one of my friends is like, but you know, people that can't be on the beach, you can get on the metaverse, and then you can be on the beach with your friends. I'm like, bro,
the fuck?
the
Would you want to
amount you pay
experience
for
that
those
for real?
goggles, bro, the amount you pay for those goggles, you probably could have had 3 round trip tickets from there to my spot. And bro, I got a bed you can sleep on. We can go to the beach, bro. We can have like that stuff is the scale. Like to me, that's when people think that way. We want to sit in a house and be like this to where we can't even. We're sensory deprived. Like, hey, did you talk
Like
about your
Ready
Scooby-Doo?
Player One.
See, she knows. She knows. I pull the dowsing rods out. She's out. She's out. She already knows. My dog came over. These are my dogs.
Oh wow, those ones are cool.
Badass, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're handmade, and these glow in the dark. These little things right here
Nice.
glow in the dark. Besides that, they're all copper 100%. These are like flame, whatever she did to them. But yeah, these are handmade for me.
Nice.
So,
and then you put a blindfold on, right? And then you hold them straight.
when I dowsing, I don't even have to put a blindfold on. I mean, I will because I can ask. I don't. I mean, I close my eyes a lot anyhow. Hi, Lexi. Do you want to say hi? I don't think you can be seen. So I just like. I mean, I could put a blindfold on. Oh, we got some energy. I could put a blind. I mean,
I don't know. I think I've seen a couple times on your guys' stuff.
Yeah, sometimes we do. Hey, leave your sister alone. I'm sorry. Leave your sister
No, it's
alone.
okay.
She is not a whack-a-mole. No, ma'am. So,
That's
sorry.
all right. My son was just my son is playing video games and literally 5 feet away from me. And he has I just got him well, I'm sorry, Santa just got him headset for the PlayStation.
Nice.
And like he cannot hear a fucking thing when they're on his head. So
That's amazing.
he's in there kicking this box and I can hear him and I'm like, hey, psh.
We don't hear it though.
And then while Tanya was just telling her story, I had to get up and go. I'm like, I was trying to like snap my fingers at him and he kicking the box. And I'm like, I swear to God that if this gets transferred through the mic, I'm going to be so mad. And then I walk around to the other room and I start clapping at him and nothing. Nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, my brother.
And then I'm like waving, and then finally he looks and I'm like, keep it down. And he's like, oh.
Sorry, I'm really into the game. I don't realize it.
Well,
yeah.
Before we started recording, he's like, I'm gonna go upstairs and watch TV. I was like, good idea.
Yeah, right.
At
least he's not F-bombing or anything like that in the game real loud. That's
yeah. As far as I know, my kids haven't really experienced paranormal, which isn't a bad thing. My daughter definitely saw something, but she doesn't remember it. I think she was actually kind of sick, and my ex-wife was with me at the time too, and I think she fell asleep in the living room, and I picked her up and I was bringing her to her bed. And as I'm like putting her down, she kind of like woke up, and my ex-wife was like literally like right behind me. And my kids shared a room, and they had a bunk bed, and she looked up at the bottom of my son's bed and I was like, oh my God, the cat, it's gonna get me. And she's like, oh, like about to
start
crying. Yeah. And I'm like, what cat? And I'm like, start going like this, and I'm like, where is it? And she's like, it's right there. And I was like, there's nothing here. And then my ex-wife was like, oh my God, what the
She's like,
fuck
what?
is
And she's seeing that.
happening?
The kids are really sensitive to stuff. Kids and animals. Come here. Come on. Up. You want to say hi? Like, come here. Come on.
Oh, there she is.
Oh my goodness.
That's her. Hi. That's our little Lexi. What's happening? Oh, there we go.
What a pretty girl.
Oh,
Yeah, she's like
beautiful.
sweet dog. No, you can't lick the loo. You can't. No, I'm just gonna done. Can't. So she's like, Mom, let me get it on that. Hi, baby. Yeah, she's very sensitive to energy. Like what's happening? Yeah, she's very sensitive to energy.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna take her on a ghost hunt. So we be Scooby-Doo.
Nice.
I can't wait. I really can't wait for that real. Like, that's gonna be funny.
I can't wait to see it.
That's gonna be fun. I think we just want to have fun and like we really want to learn about the stuff too. And we want to like help the field and show that it doesn't have to be, a lot of people when you talk about it, are like, oh my God, like either it's scary or it's demonic. Like my boyfriend's like, I don't want to deal with that demonic shit. Like I'm not allowed to talk about it with him. He doesn't want to hear about it. He gets angry. Like he gets angry if I'm like, not mad at me, but like, it'll be like, oh, like he just gets an attitude. You know what I mean? Like attitude about it. And then like, if I try to bring it up, like he doesn't know this. He doesn't know this, but we have a trailer. Did you see it on Did you see it on Instagram? There's a trailer. It's like a two and a half minute trailer when AJ from Ghost Vexers Paranormal. Anyhow, they came down. There was him and his wife, a team. They came from Pennsylvania to come do Gold Coast and Redland and a couple of places with us. And we had like just a weekend of ghost hunting with them.
Yeah.
They came in town they literally came in town to like do Gold Coast with us. That's why they like scheduled it around that. And I was like, that's really cool. So we offered to do like Redland with them and stuff to like, you know, to have a good time while they were down here and show them some cool spots. Mm-hmm. And AJ filmed a lot of it with some, you know, some really nice cameras and stuff. And he put a little trailer together for us. That's really, really nice. And what's really crazy is that night we were walking through the cemetery and AJ kept saying like, look up at the trees, look up at the trees. He kept talking about the trees. So I haven't went through the footage yet, actually. So I'm like taking film in the trees because I mean you can see things in the trees but I'm like I'm the one that walks barefoot in the graveyard all the time.
Yeah.
So
you're the feet that I see all the time.
Always. Yes, that entertainment. Hey, get that coin. Use it for good purposes. Yeah, here. So walking in a graveyard, there's as being somebody that absorbs energy and feels energy, earthing, grounding anyhow. But on top of that, I can feel. And it was pitch black, dark. We call it the disco one because there are like some lights going off. But where we were at was like dark, really dark. And he's talking about the trees and stuff. And I feel something in a spot. I'm like, yo, I just feel something like right here. So they take a flashlight and they look around and the grave, and they had no clue. Nobody know even. AJ didn't even know this when he put this in the trailer. Okay. So when I saw the trailer, mm-hmm. I literally felt sick. Like I literally even though it's a great trailer, don't get me wrong. But like when it pans to it and like the light comes on, and when it happened in real time, I know they saw my energy get weird because it is the name of my boyfriend's mother. Okay. Now, my boyfriend's mother died on my birthday before I met him, but he failed to tell me that. I just happened to find out and stumble across that her death date is my birth date. Okay. The number 22 is my day, is the date. The number 22 has been a recurring number since I have met him. Okay. Beside my 808, I see 22 or 222. This woman's trying to get through to me because let me tell you, that night in the cemetery, I was feeling some weird ass energy. And whenever he put the light on, it was her freaking, it's not her grave, but her name. And her name is a very unique name. I'm not gonna say it, it's in a trailer, whatever. But it shows, and I was just like, get out of here. Like there was some stuff that I'd been thinking about with her and stuff anyhow. And I was like, it was like a whole sign thing. And with the trees, my boyfriend has a tattoo on his leg that is a tree. Like, and her name is in the roots of the tree and then the tree. And nobody knows that. So then AJ keeps talking about the trees. And then the first name we see is freaking Alma. And I'm like,
oh, no. That's crazy.
Like, wow. Like, and I keep trying to tell him, like, if there was somebody trying to talk to you in the act, would you, and he don't want to hear it. And I'm like, I know, I can hear her telling me like, oh, man. Like I'm supposed to help him. Like, he's fucking up. Like, he's never gonna watch it, so it doesn't matter, but he's fucking like, you need to help. Like I'm supposed to like, maybe my purpose isn't to always be there in that, you understand what I'm saying? Like maybe my purpose is just to help him understand some things, and that's what I'm his life. You know what I mean? Because let's all be real. We all know nothing is always forever. So I don't look at things like, oh my God, like and get like I'm not saying anything negative towards it, but what I'm saying is that I'm accepting of the fact of what my mission, if that's what it is in that aspect. But he don't want to hear any of it. But she is coming, and the next day, this is before the trailer. I didn't see the trailer till like 2 weeks ago. Whenever we put on Instagram, it was a week ago. I didn't see that. And when I saw that, I was like, get out of here, get the fuck out of here. Out of all the footage he took, that's what he put up. really, are you kidding me? If my boyfriend saw that, he'd be like, oh yeah, nobody knew that. I swear, but he doesn't believe that. He thinks, oh, you're coincidences. I'm like, they're not coincidences. It's I call it the universe, and he doesn't want to hear it at all. And the next, I came home that night and I told my brother, who he's not my blood brother. He's just somebody I've been friends with since I moved to Florida. Okay. So I told him though about the mom thing. And it's Sunday football. I just came home from the Redland. It was Sunday morning. I was telling him like, oh my God, last night, this and that. Scrolling up, we're looking for a red zone basically. And there's a on a channel, I'm literally talking about this, and it's like a movie. It's called like Alma's something. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like,
what?
Yeah, something's trying to get through to you. Because what name is that? Like, what even is that? You know what I mean? Like,
and she's probably wants him to tell him something. You know what I mean?
And I feel like it's something to tell him, like it's okay. Like, there's something she does want to tell him something, but he won't listen. He's not receptive to it, and I don't know what to do about it. So right now, that's maybe part of what I have to do on TV. You know what I'm saying? Just go.
maybe that'd be interesting for him to.
Be interesting for a TV show. That's for sure.
That too. That would be for sure. So.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's just crazy stuff like that happens. That's what I'm talking about. The claircognizance. That's not clairvoyancy. Yeah. That's like you just know, like, I just know she's coming to, and you know what's funny? I never seen her, but then I started to look up stuff. Like I started looking up this stuff, and I saw a picture of her. I already knew what she looked like. I already knew what she looked like. I knew that picture is what I was going to see. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, like I've seen that picture before. Like that's crazy. Like that's not normal. That's not normal.
No. I mean, I the past couple of episodes now I've talked about an ex-girlfriend that I had in high school, and she described my great-grandmother to me who had passed, and like she described the exact way that she looked, and she said she's like, she's with you, watching you. And it was, she'd never seen any pictures of her because we didn't have pictures up in my house of her. So she just like this. She's like, you know what? She kind of looks like your grandmother. Like her daughter, my grandmother, my mom's mom. So I was like, that would be my great grandmother.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And
we had a girl come to Gold Coast and do that to me recently. Like something. I actually was filming and I had to stop filming. She sat down. She's like, I didn't know. She brought her kid there for like the train. She's like, I didn't know there was going to be a ghost group here. Like, can I join? Like being funny, like, whatever. Yeah. It's like, I sat and talked to her and there was energy going off across from me. She's like, oh yeah, hey, stop bopping your sister on the head. She said, my dogs. I have a big one and a little one. My other one's this big, and she's going over to her and wanting to play. I'm like, she's not a rag doll. Stop her. She's a whack-a-mole. But I threw me off topic. She came in and she was like, there's a man in navy pants, whatever. And there is known to be a guy in navy pants in that train car. So we were like, okay, cool. But then we're walking around. She's like, I hear all these different, she hears audible. So she's like, I hear these different names. And all of a sudden she says, Colin? Do you know Colin? And I was like, did you just say Colin? I literally stopped filming. I have the video. I stopped filming. And she's like, yeah, if you know Colin, Colin says hi. And Colin was my best friend that took his life a year ago.
Oh, no.
So I was just like, what? Like, there's no way you know that. There's no way. So things like that happen, and you meet people randomly that come to give you messages like that. And Christine and I think that we connected with Colin here with the board, actually, within the same like time frame about. And I know what his message is to me. I've told him I understand. I know, I know it wasn't intentional. I don't know how I'm supposed to get that message out there to his family. Nobody really wants to hear it. When I was called and told that he took his own life, I asked specific details because this is the part of being clairvoyant and claircognizant that is so bad, is that you see it play out in real time. Right. So as you see it play out, I asked, was he wearing this color shirt? Yes. How do you know he was wearing this color shirt? No shoes on. How do you know he was wearing a green shirt? Like, how do you know this? And I'm just like, I see it. I seen what happened. I seen what he did, and it was an accident. He didn't mean, he was being extra. He was being extra. You know, he's being extra, and unfortunately, being extra with a weapon can result in, in death. And I think that's what he wants me to get out to people. It's like, I wasn't really trying to self-harm or whatever. I wasn't really trying it. I was just on some drugs. He was on some drugs and being a little extra. And you're tall, you go down, but the shotgun goes off. There's nothing you can do. I mean, I was raised in the South, so yeah, things like that come, and that's the heavy shit, and that's the bad shit about it. That's like the bad shit about it. But it's also the part that I'm like telling him, like, I know, how am I supposed to make your family believe that? Like, hey, by the way, I work with a paranormal group, and Colin and I were really good friends for 25 plus years, and he's coming to me to let you guys know that this is actually what happened. Like, they'd be like, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. So it's like, what do you do about it? If they came to me, but he knows his family enough. He and I mean, I can see him and have conversation with him. Like, I can feel when he's around me. I can have conversation with him. We have stupid little jokes that we had. We used to call each other Jack and Karen from Will and Grace, Jack. And he always used to talk about, like, when he could retire, he was going to move to Florida, and I was just going to have a rich Stan, and that he was just going to be my best friend. And that's what he is now. He just, I'm living my best life, and he's down here with me, going to the beaches, doing everything with me now. I know he is, and that's cool. I'm about it. It's cool. He finally got his time to do that. He's good. I think he's good.
Yeah. Do you feel him off, like,
a lot? And it wasn't down here that he passed.
No.
I would say not every day. I think he can travel. That's what I said. I think he can travel. Okay. He traveled anyhow, a lot. He did. He traveled a lot all over the world. And I don't feel like he's in a space to where Colin didn't believe actually Colin was a complete atheist. His family's Bible beaters, and his brother's a preacher. Mm-hmm. And they would always, Colin is gay, and they would always try to, pray the gay away from him. Hey, stop beating her on her head. And so, so, he didn't believe in anything. So I think Colin's just like a free spirit now. I just feel like he's just living his best afterlife, I guess you could say, in a sense. And I think he came to me to be like, hey, listen, I didn't do this the way everybody thinks. And I knew that anyhow. Like, I didn't have a really hard time dealing with until I started feeling the energy, and then I started having a hard time. But it's better now. It's been a couple months. It's been anniversary. It's pretty good now. I feel like connected, and he's good.
And is he a friend from home back in Tennessee, or?
Yeah. So very long time friend. Very, very good friend of mine. So.
Nice.
Energy like that, I feel like stays around you, That's why I think maybe that's why I got the lights that come on in the middle of the night, or you just don't know, maybe he just want to fuck around. That's who he was too, really and truly, like, just to be silly, stupid. So you never know. So I think people get so scared of what we do, right? Like, they get scared of the stuff they get, and they're like, aren't you scared? Like, what is it? I mean, when I was a kid, yeah, but I feel like
you didn't know any better as a kid, And a lot of people think that this stuff it's going to harm you, or it's going to get in you, or possess you, or
you know what I think possession is? Possession, I mean, I don't know shit. I don't think we don't know shit, right? We just
right.
I mean, we're still guessing. Even when we get words sweeping through radio stations, you get a full-on sentence. Gina got some great shit this last week, and it's like, I mean, you still don't know. We can't say, oh, that's a ghost talking to. We're hoping, but what if it's some fucker on a different level of whatever realm just being funny back? I mean, we don't know. You don't know. So, like, you just, I don't know. We're still just trying to figure it out. None of us are, people think it all. Like, I don't think we know any yet. We're so.
Nobody knows anything for sure.
And people are so scared. I don't understand why people are so scared. Like,
well, that goes back to, like, frequency and shit. Like, so that's I feel like paranormal is depicted in Hollywood as such a negative thing is because they the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, Illuminati, fucking whatever, the 13 families, all that. I feel like this shit gets done in a way to keep us afraid because a lot of things, like the way that they feed off of our energy is the fear, like any demonic kind of energy,
Anything.
whatever you want to say, is it's feeding off the fear, and that's how they get stronger, and that's how they keep your frequency lower than theirs.
Yeah, I guess I always tell people, like, when you're afraid, like, of anything, like, I remember sitting on the beach watching my friends go into the ocean because I was like, I'm not going to do a camera.
Have you seen Jaws?
But yeah, like, y'all crazy. What do you mean you want to go in the ocean and snorkel? What are you talking about? I see on sand tan. I'm good, But
Yeah.
I watch them and they come back like, oh my God, we saw this big fish. It's like this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Like, and I'm sitting there going, like, I literally went and bought the best gear that day, the best gear you could buy, like best mask and make sure it's not going to leak on me. I'm not going to make sure I have the best fins so that I can, but that I was like, I'm breaking that fear. I'm getting in the fucking water with them next time. And, even still, every time I get in, I snorkel a lot. I snorkel and free dive. And but bro, every time I get in, I feel that like I feel it, and you gotta breathe. Like I box breathe, Navy box breathing. I don't know about Navy box breathing, 4x4 box breathing. Like I do it, and it's like, I'm more afraid of the living shit than I'm afraid of like, and now like I'll go, like you said, fear. So like you're in the water, right? You're in the water. Something feels your fear. It feels your energy. So you gotta breathe. You gotta calm down. You gotta, I go out in the glades, and I've literally stepped in some baby gators, and the mom didn't touch me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, respect, my bad. Didn't even see the little babies here. I was bending down to take a picture. I saw the mom sitting right there. She could have in 3 seconds had my ass. You know what I'm saying? Right. But intention, it was like, oh, and I wasn't afraid of her. I was like, I'm sorry, mama. Let me just back up. I didn't see him. So sorry, like, and that could have just been luck too. I don't know. But once again, the fear, going back to the fear, you put out fear. Things feel your fear. People do. When I walk down the beach in the mornings, bro, nobody says shit to me because I walk down like a bad bitch. Okay. But years ago, I'm going to go back like 20 years ago. I wasn't a very confident person. And people used to, like when I was younger, used to pick on me and harass me. My mother's my biggest bully, by the way, was. So it's like,
I feel like mothers are a lot of our first bullies.
Do they not understand that they are creating the chaos that we then pass on and pass forward and keep
the
going?
Generational trauma.
How you can make that change, but for some reason you don't want to. People don't want to reflect. People want to project. They don't want to reflect.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. Reflecting means there's something wrong with you.
And listen, we're all fucked up. Nobody comes with a manual. None of us come with a manual. We all fuck up. It's okay to be like, yo, I fucked up. I don't know. But it takes a long time. Like I said, I'm in my 40s, and it took a long time. We a lot of times don't want to be wrong, or I don't know. It's even with this stuff. It's like, okay, sometimes you get people that are like, oh, sure, the doll's this and that. I'm like, trust me, we are debunking the Gold Coast doll. It's just gonna take a minute. You can't go tell everybody what you're doing, but it takes a minute. We're debunking it, but we ain't stupid. Like, come on, man, give us a little bit of credit. You gotta like. If you see something, you got to play with it and figure it out and then debunk it if that's what you think is going to happen.
Right.
And if it doesn't, then, we all have brains. They try to keep us so stupid and scared.
Yeah. Overstimulated and scared. Overstimulated.
Because overstimulation, when I get that way, man, I feel like I'm going to vomit. I don't know. I feel energy like that. If I hold my phone too long, I feel sick. Where I work on my phone, bro, look at this. You see this? Do y'all see this?
Yeah.
That's from working on my phone and holding my phone
like that. Yeah.
Like this for years. That's what that's from. Can you believe I've allowed that to happen? Like, and it makes me, I feel it every time I do it. It makes me so angry. Nothing you can do now. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, that's crazy. That's what we have done to ourselves in society. Like, think about that. Like, when I physically see that, I'm like, at first I didn't know what's going on. I was like, what is that? And then one day I'm sitting I'm like, oh my God, are you? So now it's a constant reminder that like we are so attached to this no matter what. But we have to be like, Everything's that way. We pay everything that way. We do this that way. We investigate using stuff. We record our investigations. So they keep us that way. Like, it's so hard to not be in that.
And that they say that men these days have a lot lower testosterone. Did you know that women's main hormone is testosterone? Did you know that?
Women's?
Women.
Yes.
They give you they're higher than in estrogen than we are, but your dominant hormone is testosterone.
They will give you testosterone shots as you get a little bit older too.
Really? I didn't know that.
Part of your hormone replacement therapy, yeah.
Like menopause or whatever.
Yeah, I had cancer at 27, so like I'm hitting that like early, like I'm 44, I'm hitting it earlier. They told me it'd be the late 30s or early 40s, mid 40s. I'm like, oh, girl. Yeah. So they give you all kinds of. I actually did it today. I did a hormone supplement, like a hormone replacement therapy today. Okay. So yeah, that's. I didn't know that. I didn't know we had testosterone like that either until they broke it down.
Yeah. So. Like we are we're too comfortable, basically. That's what it's saying to me, is that we as a race or as a species have become too comfortable with things. So like you get the people that like they just want to sit around and do nothing all day. It's just as hard to be depressed as it is to be happy.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
yeah, I know. 1,000%.
So like you have something that you want to do, but you're too scared to do it, so you don't do it. But then you're beating yourself up about it. So now it's just as hard to not do the thing that you want to do as it is to actually do what you want to do. And I really don't know where the fuck I'm going with this tangent.
No, I understand that. No, but I understand that 100%, like 1,000%. Like the beating yourself up. Like I'll be like, like I said, I have to be out in the sunshine. Like you gotta understand, we are the top tier of the kingdom, right? We are the number one in the animal kingdom, right?
Yep.
Animals do not sleep in houses. Okay. Animals are not surrounded by electronics all the time. Animals rise with the sun and they typically go to bed, except for the nocturnal ones. At night, they find a place in a tree, on the ground, in a cave, underground to recharge. They're recharging their bodies. Ancient people used to lay in caves, used to lay on the ground to recharge your body. And we don't do that. If you sun gaze the first hour of the day, do you know sun gazing emits, like the first hour of the day, you can watch the sun, you can see those rings around the sun, all kinds of stuff. I do it every morning. Well, almost every morning, unless
the more you do it too, the longer you can stare.
Yes. And do you know it emits a natural sunscreen to you? Okay. So people always tell me, like on the beach, they say, I see you here every day, girl, every morning. Like, and I never see you put sunscreen on. If you don't put sunscreen on, by the time you're 40, girl, you're going to look like you're 60. And I go like,
I am 40.
I wish someone would have told me that 25 years ago, because I'm 45. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, because I sun gaze. I mean, I naturally get, the sun gives you think about it. If you are a human, which we are, and something created us, which it did, whatever. The reality situation was there wasn't sunscreen back then, girl. There was no sunscreen. Okay. And people lived outside. That's where you lived, was outside all day long. So the sun, when you got up with the sun, gave you a natural barrier to get you. Now, if you go out at 11 o'clock in the morning, you're going to get burnt. But if you were there at 6:30, 7 o'clock, whenever the sun came up, and you were in the sun for a minute, you have a natural sunscreen on and some nutrients too. But
which is how ancestrally humans lived for years. They got up with the sun and they went to bed with the moon, basically with this. So sunset, they're getting up, getting their shit together, doing their hunting, their gathering, all that shit. And then once the sun was going down, they're like, oh, well, it's time to go in and recharge. So I feel like us being overstimulated so much. So the veil is thinnest at 3 o'clock in the morning, is what they say. Right. So when we're not sleeping at that time. We're not connecting with spirit. That's basically. So with them keeping us overstimulated, a lot of people have issues sleeping.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock in the morning, especially.
Right. So they're not getting that connection. And
So many people have problems sleeping now, and so many people don't get good rest. When you are sleeping, when we are sleeping, we're not getting good rest. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I was just learning of this too, and I was talking to Christina in the last episode about how my crown is dim and my crown chakra, and so I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm at work at 3 o'clock in the morning.
oh wow.
So I'm not sleeping at the time that I should be sleeping. And then I barely sleep because I don't know why. I just can't fall asleep in time enough to get enough sleep for 2 o'clock.
Yeah, for sure. You'd have to go to bed like
Right now.
you'd have to be in bed now.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah. And I have the hardest time to go to sleep at this time. So I usually am up until 9 or 10 o'clock. And then that's what, 4 hours. So I'm like desperately looking for another job.
Yeah. That's crazy hours.
It is.
Yeah.
You're working 12 and 14 hours a day?
Yeah. Today I actually was only like 10. I got out at 1.
That's insane. I mean, I used to do that when I worked retail. I mean, I get it when I worked retail, and my daddy is still my daddy's a workaholic though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of hours. I mean, that it takes away from the things that you love in life, and I think the thing is that we all have to find what we like, what if you can find something you love to do and make a passion out of it, and or you take a little less. That's the thing too, man. They really, like, my sister works for the government and like child services, like DC, they call it different things, different places. So the way they work them, I mean, she has no life. And what they do is they entice you with, like, they pay you more than anybody else will pay you, but just a little bit more, not what you're worth. And you're working like a dog. That girl works like a dog. Like, I just calls in the middle of the night for removals, and she got a family. She got 3 kids, a husband, and dogs. And like, how do you live that way? Like, but they do that once again. They do that to keep us
overstimulated, overworked,
Everybody is. And do you believe if you believe in collective consciousness at all? Like, that's, I mean, I know that really doesn't, I mean, does that go into paranormal? I don't know. If you believe in collective consciousness at all, like, that literally, something I've noticed, I'm very, I'm one or two ways. I'm a Gemini. So I'm either very friendly or I'm very like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I'm very one or the other. Like, there's not really a balance for me.
Right. I have a Gemini moon, so.
Oh, you're a Gemini? Oh, your moon. Okay.
Oh,
so I have if I'm at the beach and I have headphones on, I'm working out. I'm not trying to say, hey, what's happening? And, people try to like talk to you and you seem like a bitch, right? But I'm not. I'm in my zone. I'm like trying to figure out or meditating or whatever it is, But I'm usually like a really happy, bubbly kind of spirit, and try to like bring good energy everywhere. What I've noticed lately is like everybody's so fucking bitchy all the time. Like, everywhere you go, it doesn't matter. And the holidays do that. That's what I always say, holidays. And people are always at the holidays, they're always like, hey, you're not going home to visit your family on the holidays? I'm like, what? So everybody right now on Snapchat, like, okay, going to another house, fuck this. And they're bitching to their kids, like, get your shit together, come on, let's go. Like, nobody's having a happy Christmas. What the fuck y'all talking about? I'm chilling at my house singing like, all I want, I'm like, I'm having the time of my life watching football and enjoying my time, not going home for Christmas, so everybody's energy anyhow, I feel like right now, especially since COVID happened, has been so bitchy and negative. And I feel that. I feel, if I'm such an empath that, like, if I go in a room and it's a bunch of negative energy, I literally will feel sick. We'll feel sick. We'll feel, my brother's walking around here. Actually, the way I know him is I've played video games with him online, actually. And I was in Tennessee and he was in Florida.
Yeah.
And he came and got me. I was in an abusive relationship, and he came and got me. Thank you. I'm gonna bring water, boy. Here, I'll finish. I'll actually just pour that one in the dog's dish. Thank you. I met him, and we actually just yesterday, I was driving and I was talking to him on the phone because I was kind of going through something. I called him about something, and I was like, "Yeah, I found a lighter." I found it because I found a lighter, and I was like, "But can you?" Because he told me where to find it. Because I was like, I swear, because I was taking his car somewhere because I was taking the dog somewhere, and he's got an SUV, and so I was like, "Hey, isn't there a lighter?" He's like, "I don't have a lighter in the car," and I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, check this door handle or whatever. Maybe you left that one there." I was like, "Okay, I did." And he was like, "Thanks." He's like, "Yeah, whatever." I was like, "Can you tell me the color of it though?" He's like, "Pink." I was like, "It is pink. It is pink." Like white on it, and da da da. So we've always been like connected like that. Whether it be, he can be wherever, and he'll be like, "Are you all right?" Like, I can tell you're not. Like, we've always been connected. Same thing. He goes hunts with us sometimes. He goes on it sometimes with us. A few of them we can. But he's like a practicing traveling musician, so it's not something he would be able to like do. But when he does, he goes and he helps the crew out, brings us water. If we need equipment, he helps us out, so we're very grateful for Barry over there.
That's fun. Tanya, you have any questions? Anything you would like to know?
I don't think so. I feel like I thought of something earlier, but I don't remember.
So in the last episode, Ron's like, "It's nice to meet you, even though you didn't talk much."
Well, sometimes I'm just not needed. Sometimes
I know. I'm just saying.
just...
I just want you to know, like, you can like interject.
You can always talk
anytime,
for sure.
At any time, yeah. So, which is why I ask you at like when we're because we're approaching 2 hours right now.
Yeah.
Which is why I ask you towards the end if you have any questions, because I like to try and keep you involved.
Well, I know, but I feel like you ask most of the questions that are relevant, and I feel like the guest, well, depending, if the guest does a good job at like answering the questions in detail, and then we don't have to, or sometimes we get off on different conversations or whatever.
That's
but
true. That's true.
She said, "If we gotta talk, or I don't have to, girl." That's what she's telling me. That's what she's saying. She's saying Christina and Callie are talkers. We don't have to ask them shit. They will just give you diarrhea of information. I know sometimes people don't. I know sometimes some people are like, "Could y'all just shut up?" Like,
well,
people will listen to us now. We're not crazy. We're not as crazy as people think we are.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what really. That's the thing.
Right. And I started this by myself originally, and then I know, like, because I've experienced stuff with my sister. And she just moved back home, so like we actually talk a lot more now than we ever really have. And I was just like, that'd be a cool thing to get her involved in. Her perspective will be a little bit different than mine, and she probably and she'll probably ask different questions than I do. Like with Lee, she's like, "Oh, like had this whole went off on this whole thing about tarot cards and stuff," and I would have never asked that shit.
Do you read tarot?
I am interested in it. I don't have my own deck, but my mom has a deck, and so I tried to use her deck, and she got mad at me, and I didn't know it was like this whole thing where you're not supposed to use someone else's tarot deck. So
and see, that's another thing too, is I feel like that's what's so good about, say, like being with a group of people that you can like evolve with, because you don't get people that like, that's something that Tim didn't do. Like, I mean, if you were to drop something, he's not going to like lose his shit over that. Or like if you don't use something correctly, or like I feel like, yes, I feel like these feel good with me and they work well with me. Some other people they don't work well with, because I feel like they're like bound. I think tarot's kind of that way too. Sometimes I have my own deck. I read for myself only. I have a very cool tarot deck. It's a very, very, very girl only deck. I'll say, like, it's basically like the hanged man is a man hanging by his penis. Like, she's
gross.
Oh no, it's amazing.
That just makes me feel weird.
Listen, it is very. I am a very what is the word? My job has to do with like dominatrix stuff. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, you know what I'm saying. It works well for me. You know what I'm saying? But I will keep that in mind that you don't have a deck and that you're looking for a deck, and I will fill that out because energy is everything. And
It is everything.
I do know that there are decks that we currently have floating around that are looking for homes. I do know that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So
That's pretty
maybe
cool.
drop me an addy. Like send me an addy. I got you something.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That way you can practice. You can practice, and that's the only way to strengthen whatever it is that you're interested in. Is to practice it, and you can practice it just with yourself. I sit and I try to, like, the other day, Christina's like, holy shit, Christina's really good. Gina reads tarot. Christina reads tarot, like not at like really events or anything. We haven't really gotten into that so much, but we do all pretty much, they're way more advanced than me. My grandmothers both did.
Yeah.
And it kind of ties in, I feel like, with my Ouija and things. So I'm trying to get a little better at it too. So I don't know. Like I said, drop me an addy. We'll get you a deck, and maybe we can help each other out with that.
There you go, Tanya.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
So
Get
I
you a little
wanted
bit.
to know if you have ever astral projected.
I have a friend that does this a lot.
Yeah.
I have a friend that does this a lot, and when I remember, it was a guy I met in college, and he is a very, very interesting person. And he would like wake up in the mornings and be like skiddly doo, Miss Watson, like this morning, like I scooted by. He's in Tennessee. Like I went to college with him. He's a very like whatever, and he'll be like, I flew past your house this morning. I saw Mr. Tux, and I'm like, Tux,
Mr.
Papa. And then like 2 days later, I see a fucking black and white Tux cat outside my house. I'm like, how the fuck you know about this bag? I'm like, okay, I guess you do this, right? This is years ago. Years ago. The cat still hangs around my house, by the way. I feel like when I meditate, it's something very similar, but I don't feel like I have actually. I guess during meditation, he does it like when he's sleeping, right? So he does it in sleep at night, and that's the way I have heard of it. But I feel like I do something very similar when I meditate over the beach. So when I'm sitting at the beach and I meditate, I'm not in my body. I'm not there. I can see it. Like I'm not there. I actually had an out of body experience when I told you I had cancer at 27.
Yep.
They had given me morphine, which I was allergic to. Barry was actually there when it happened. They had given me morphine on a pump drip right after I came out of anesthesia, and I'd hit it, and we're not sure if the dosage was too high. Maybe it wasn't set right, and I hit it, but I overdosed on it, or my body reacted to it somehow, and I flatlined. And I went into I remember them removing him from the room, them calling codes, and I was standing at the end of my bed. I just told the story this morning or last night to another guy. It's a friend of mine. So I was just telling him this, and I was standing at the end of the bed, and I'm literally going, no, I'm here. Hi, I'm not dead. I'm alive. I'm here. Like that's what I was saying to them with watching them defibrillate me, like watching my body, like I watched it, and I'm like, no, hi, right here, right here, girl. Like, so I watched it. Now, was that a crazy medication overdose? And I think I saw that, or did I have an out-of-body experience? Since I have started meditating and have out-of-body experiences with meditation, I'm 1,000% believe it was an out-of-body experience.
That's scary, honestly.
Yeah, it was scary, but I didn't see. Everybody's like, did you see any lights or anything? I didn't see no white lights. No, pun. Is it nothing like that? Nope. All I saw was me jerking on the thing. I mean, like, yo, what, like, huh? What? So since that too, like, do some people not even know, like, what? Sometimes I'm like, I'll be real with you. Sometimes I'm like, did I die there? And like a whole new person? Like, is this a whole different chapter? You think of things like that because my life has been completely different since then. So did something happen there and like a reset? Like, is that real? Like you start thinking stuff like that, and that stuff will fuck with your brain. So you just I try to live in the moment. I try to absorb and enjoy everything in the moment, in time. And like I said, meditating on the beach, there are times I'm telling you, I'm over top of that water. I am nowhere where my body is at. That night, okay, the night with the alien, that spaceship or whatever it was that I saw in the sky that night.
Yeah.
I was going through a very, very rough patch in my life, and I did not want to be here anymore. And I went on the beach to meditate that night. And that was the last thing I remember that night. I took a picture of it. I saw the shit flying in the sky. And I'm like, I've got to take a picture of this. Like, I've got to, and I woke up the next morning on the beach. So whatever time went by from 7:50, whatever that was PM until before sunrise, because I get up for sunrise every morning, I was on that beach, or maybe not, but that whole time is gone, was not, I even got a ticket. Because my car was parked there that night overnight.
Do you want to show that picture one more time real quick?
Yeah, and I'll send it to you too, so you can put it in. It's almost 8:08. It's 8:06. Yeah, it shows the landmark right here, September 8th, 2019, 7:59 p.m. Tells you how it was taken. There's no edits to it. Like, you can look straight up. There's not one edit. No edit to it. No, you gotta be careful. Yeah. Here it is. Dip brightness is down. No, here's it in full view. See it? Right around in here. I can't really see.
Yeah. Oh.
It's okay. Wasn't too bad. Nothing was bad there. Just showed Snapchat. We're good. It's some dirty feet from the cemetery.
Oh, there it is. There you go.
There we go.
Got it
That's
now.
clear. That's clear. That's not. You can't tell me that's anything but that.
And they moved together in that track.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It moved together and like. Yeah.
Wow.
Can you see it right?
Yeah. I can't wait to talk to Oren about this.
You're Siri saying, girl, stop. Nobody talking to you.
There was this
808, look, 808, look, 808.
Oh shit.
Told you.
That's crazy. Freaking, I did a podcast with my buddy. His podcast is This Might Make You Mad.
Oh, that's funny.
And we were just talking about, we talk about random shit a lot. And I was on there and we were talking about something. I can't remember what we were talking about, but I was like, hey Siri. And I would start talking.
I don't know what that means. If you like.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to go, and trying to figure out what the hell we were talking about to get more information. And I did it a couple times. And then me and my kids were listening to it on a car ride, and I had said it, and then my phone would stop the podcast and try and answer whatever fucking question I was fucking asking.
That's scary. Like, the AI is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. It recognized my voice through a speaker.
That's insane. It really is crazy.
It really is. So
it's scary what people think about what people can do with that, though.
Oh my God. You got the deep fakes.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
It is a real thing. Have you seen the guy that looks like exactly like Tom Cruise? He's everywhere.
But I've heard about this stuff.
Yeah. And then there's a guy that looks like Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis can't even fucking talk right now. Did you know that?
No.
I think I heard about that a while ago.
He's having some serious like medical issues and shit.
Yeah, he retired like earlier this year, didn't he?
Yeah. And now like his speech is like fucked right now.
Oh wow. Celine Dion's going through something really crazy too. Like,
oh, she's the fucking devil.
Yeah, she looks like it.
She has consorted with some fucking evil fucking.
Listen, there's a lot of people that have, and people can listen. And I know Kanye West is a controversial topic, but let me tell you, Kanye West.
He's a fucking secret genius.
Thank you. He is and he's trying to out people. He talked about that Balenciaga shit. He did not want his kids around Balenciaga. He straight up said, do not take my kids around Balenciaga. He straight the fuck up said that. And you know why? Because I've been in campaigns, okay? My background's modeling for 20 years too. Cameras and modeling. Okay. I've never been in a Balenciaga ad, bitch, okay? So I can damn near tell you that if I'm shooting a campaign for spring 2023 or a show for spring 2023 and I'm shooting it now, I guarantee you Balenciaga knew 6 months ahead of time what was going to happen in that campaign. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Where they were literally pushing, peddling child fucking porn on the internet.
Yes.
I had Balenciaga gear. I literally got rid of every, because I love some high fashion. Kanye West is selling everything Balenciaga $20. Everything $20. You want Balenciaga? You know how mad they are. You know how mad they are because they have things that are only Kanye West. They only made for him. That should be worth millions. He's like $20. Fuck Balenciaga. And like he said in an interview, oh, all y'all worried about this and that, but y'all ain't said a fucking thing about Balenciaga. Have you using fucking kids with fucking bondage bears and shit with alcohol on the table and shit? That's fucking straight up Illuminati, fucking child trafficking shit. Like,
fucking
I'll get into that shit too. I mean, I was trafficked as a child, so I mean that's a whole other thing too. So that shit is real. Trust me, his delivery, I understand, and I get that he says some wild ass shit. I'm not going to dispute that because people want to be mad about that stuff. I understand that. I'm not saying that there's some stuff that he has said that is not fucking crazy, but you got to understand they tried to program somebody that has decided to deprogram themselves and get back spiritual and get back in with his spiritual side, and it's just not looking good. They'll probably kill him.
Probably he'll be suicided somehow, some kind of way.
Right there.
He just like his personal trainer. His trainer was trying to fucking kill him.
He even said, "Oh, just know that pretty soon." I mean, he said something to the effect of I'm going to be on Twitter, I think he said, listen, I've never been suicidal, so if I commit suicide by a Clinton, I think is what he said, something like that. I died, bro. I died. Like,
so listen to this video clip real quick that I have that I literally just obtained today, so it's fucking phenomenal that you fucking even brought it up.
That's the universe. It's the claircognizance.
Is just an accident. Watch this video because they absolutely knew what they were doing the entire time. They just want to see what they can get away with. So this is an image that was featured on their homepage. And as you can see, there is some caution tape right there. And if you zoom in, you can see that they spelled Balenciaga, but with 2 A's. How would they accidentally spell their own brand name wrong, put it on caution tape, photograph it, and then feature it on their homepage without noticing? That was on purpose. Well, if you type that spelling of Balenciaga into the Latin to English translation on Google, it says Baal is the king. And who is Baal, or Baal, however you say it? He is an ancient god mentioned in the Bible that demands child sacrifices in exchange for riches. Pause to read. So let me get this straight. They purposely spelled their name wrong on a campaign where they featured sad children holding BDSM teddy bears, and that name just happened to be the name of an ancient god that was known for child sacrifices. Not to mention, this is one of the main designers of Balenciaga, and her Instagram is full of satanic imagery and references. And some images even feature children. Did you know the owner of Balenciaga also owns Gucci and other top luxurious brands? Why do you think that no celebrity has spoken out about it yet? They are all involved. Do you remember my Lady Gaga video? Now they are just sorry that they got caught, and Kim would have never even said anything if the media didn't make a whole fuss about it and make her look bad. Kim probably even saw the campaign before it was featured on their website, and we should be making an even bigger fuss about it because this goes a lot deeper than just a bad marketing campaign. Kanye has been trying to tell us, and of course the media is going to cherry pick his words and make him seem like a crazy person because they don't want us to believe what he's saying because they own the media too. And with all that being said, I have one question. Where do you think that the 840,000 children that go missing a year are going? It is all connected.
Amen. And you know what else? On that campaign, there's a bag, okay? I love some designer stuff. I'm not gonna like front like I don't love some designer shit sometimes. I will never ever buy another Balenciaga. Never ever. And actually a lot of it now because it's like all tied together. But reality is in that campaign, there's a Balenciaga bag on some paperwork, and if you zoom into the paperwork, it is the protection of child predators.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
Like they're literally straight up getting away with child sacrifice. I mean, I'm literally like if you could see, like it's and people think that you're crazy if you talk about it that way. They think Kanye is crazy. It sounds crazy. Now we don't hear about it anymore. We've not even heard about it again. Like why are all the news channels not fucking? Why are we not doing something? Why is Balenciaga even a brand right now? Like, are you kidding me? Why are the feds not in there right now?
Where'd the cancel people go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck you say the wrong word the wrong way as an influencer, all of a sudden you get canceled. Jenna Marbles gets canceled for saying something about a fucking fish tank or a hamster or some dumb shit. And then this shit, Balenciaga, like, I mean, Balenciaga is a big brand, bro. I mean, but you look at it. You look at it. Look at Kim the last year, the shit she was wearing, and then there's like things of her with all the veils and shit on. I mean, Kanye was standing beside her at the fucking I think Met Gala a few years back with her, all that all black. That was all Balenciaga. She has been Balenciaga this whole year. And then she's got her kids all like shadows behind her. Yo, that makes me sick feeling. That makes me like what? And that's what Kanye keeps saying. Like he keeps talking about Chicago, like the young Shy. They call her Shy, the youngest one, the young girl. He's like, no. She's not going to be the next Kim or Kylie Jenner. No. Y'all aren't putting her out there like that. Y'all aren't doing that to my baby. Like you're not doing that. And that's where the problem with Kanye right now is, and the Kardashians, because the Kardashians, like I was a huge Kardashian fan. I love the fact that these people like took their life and turned it around and made it a reality thing and made something out of it. Everybody's like, oh well, Kim did this, and I understand all that, but guess what?
I never liked them.
But here's the thing: they became wealthy off of just doing that, and that was the first family we ever seen that, and they are our quote unquote royalty somehow. That shows what our standards are in fucking America, right? And I do think the women are beautiful. I love beautiful women. I love beautiful people. So all that stuff, and that I understand all that, but I've also, I'm going to be real with you. I have been down here. I've been up here. Okay, I've been both, and I can tell you that this does not make it makes maybe life some things easier to navigate, but it does not bring you happiness and the things you've got to sacrifice, and the things that you realize that people only want to fuck with you for what you can do for them or give them. And that's what happens when you get in that kind of place, and they're on a level that I could never even imagine. But I saw on a very small scale. I had friends that were, very wealthy friends that, once I lost my bougie job at one point, and then lost it and went to normal, had to be like, you saw the friends that the classism, you can no longer be part of their little things. You can no longer, and you literally see some wild shit when you go into this stuff, like that Jeffrey Epstein shit. Like that's all I live in South Florida, bro. Like you see if I told y'all the shit that I see in South Florida on a whole different level from paranormal, like, and with the industry that I work in, the fetish, you would have no clue the shit that I see, from ball players to rappers. Like that's the people that, I mean, I'm in studios, I'm courtside, those are like, it's crazy. Those people, some of them really do. I believe that they do some sort of sacrificial shit to get what they have.
Yep. I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
It's it's within their the things that they do, the pictures that they take,
it's scary.
certain words that they say. Like the FBI translation for like little boy is pizza.
Yeah, I think I've heard that
what the pedophile rings are using for little.
What they use, right? The pizza ring, right?
Yeah. So that's where the Pizzagate came from, which is the first episode that I have of this podcast. We talk a lot about Pizzagate and stuff. So Tom Hanks is like, in that realm, the pedophile realm has been known to be kind of like a big influencer of the pedophilia shit. Nothing really like concrete, obviously, because a lot of this is like what people see or heard, and they'll come out like Isaac Kappy. You know who that is? So he was literally trying to out Tom Hanks, and he ended up dead.
Yeah, you can't out anybody. I mean, Corey Feldman's gonna be scared for his fucking life because all he's done is try to out people the last few years. I mean, he outed
he was
Charlie Sheen hardcore.
Oh yeah, he was trying to make a theatrical film, and what the fuck's his name? The guy that got fired like a year or two ago, Mike Lauder. I don't know. He's on. Be quiet in there, kid. Hey.
Poor Braden.
Mike Lowry, or something like that, like on anyways. So he's like literally like he's like, why don't you just tell us, you know, who's involved? He's like, well, I'm trying to, but he goes, you know, I want to make this film so that the whole world knows. He's like, why don't you just stay it right here? He's like, well,
I remember that.
you know, he's like, he's like, I'm going to. He's just like, I'm just trying to, you know, he's like, there are people that will literally end me.
Like they will kill me. So I gotta be, and people think he's crazy. I mean, Corey Haim, he talks about his friend basically overdosed and because of this stuff, you know, I mean, that especially that group of kids, they were fucked the worst. Like, I mean, Drew Barrymore was in clubs at 11 years old.
And fucking drinking and sniffing cocaine at fucking 11 years
That's real shit. And they were fucking her. I mean, it's not like they weren't fucking her. Let's not keep, let's not, we don't want to out the men that were fucking her, right? We don't want to out those men. That's the whole thing, you know? And then, you know, I mean, it just depends that there's certain people that you're like, there's certain people that got their fame that way and they want, like Ashley Judd, I think she was like, she's one of Harvey Weinstein's like whatever, but it was all like, maybe it wasn't her, I don't remember who it was now, but it was like, I'm like, but you knew what you were doing. Like you knew what you were doing. That's different than a child that gets taken advantage of, or it's different than a woman that gets taken advantage of in Hollywood, gets drugged. That's a total different scenario than you slept your way to the top. Not mad at that. I'm not faulting you at that at all, but we cannot call that like, we can't call that a Me Too movement when you slept your way to the top. I mean, I get it. You slept with that man that raped women. I get that, but you're not in the same, you're still homies with the guy. You understand? I can't take you serious. But the girl like, I wish I could yell at Barry. I can't remember. He went to high school with her. She's a redhead. Fuck. She didn't make it very far in Hollywood. She did one thing. I can't remember her name right now. Barry went to high school with her in Akron, Ohio. And
a comedian?
No, she's a redhead. She was in. I wish I could yell like, "Hey Barry!" But I know he's got his headphones on. Angie Everhart. Angie.
I don't know.
Anyhow, she's this redhead, but she came out and she talked about Harvey Weinstein taking her on this cruise and or having her on the boat at I don't remember what it was, but and she talked about how that's how she didn't get very far in Hollywood was because she would not, like when he told her to go in a cabin or whatever to lay down because she got there to the Cannes Festival. It's a Cannes Festival, and she was like in there, and then he came in and tried to like. He tried to lock the door and he tried to like force himself on her, and she got out of it and like told people, and they were like, oh, that's just Harvey, that's just who he is. And she's just like, fuck no. Like, she's like, I'm not doing this to, sleep my way to the top. Or the massage girl that went to Epstein's Island was like, oh my God, he did all these things to me. And then 2 months later, he called me and I went to Europe with him. I can't take you serious, girl. I can't take you serious. Like you take away from the people that they literally held down and or coerced or whatever. Like I can't take you serious when you were part of the homie hoe girls, because there are those girls, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's okay to say, hey, listen, yeah, I did it, and he was my homie, and I did that. I didn't realize he was a vile piece of shit. It's okay to say that. Right. But people don't know how to do that. But that shit's. Hey Barry, who's that girl you went to high school with? Not the one that died in the spaceship, the other one.
The one that died in the spaceship.
Yeah, he went to school with the girl.
Not Judy Resnick?
No, not Judy Resnick. She's the one that blew up in the spaceship. I shouldn't. She's the one. No, the redhead.
Angie Everhart.
Angie Everhart. That's her name. Look her up, Angie Everhart. Yeah, she talks about Harvey Weinstein and how she was basically like, this is why I'm not in Hollywood, because I won't fuck my way up.
Right.
She tried to talk about it when the Me Too movement happened with him. Yeah, so I mean, it's real. All this shit is real, man.
Yeah. Before I forget, actually, so the reason why I went off on that little like pizza thing.
Yeah.
So The Rock was just on SNL with Tom Hanks, and he just goes, "I like pizza," randomly.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Is him and Tom Hanks? I think it was SNL.
Who said that? Tom Hanks or The Rock said that?
No, The Rock.
The Rock said it.
It to Tom Hanks.
He was saying it to the crowd.
Oh.
But he was with Tom Hanks, who has been implicated in with all this pedophilia shit.
So
And-
like he was in like he was like in with it with Tom Hanks, or he was calling Tom Hanks out was the
No, he was just
idea.
like they. Well, I don't know. They were together, and
I guess it could be taken either way. You're right.
It could be.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I
right.
guess-
Yeah, I
Tanya's
mean,
right. It can be taken either way because it can be taken. It can be taken as like he's in with him, or he can be calling him out like, "Hey, I like pizza." Like,
Yeah.
like
and
I
Tom
see
Hanks,
you.
because you know how like they're on the stage in SNL and they give like a speech in the beginning,
Mhm.
and then they turn
Monologue.
around and walk away or whatever. And like, so Tom Hanks turns to walk away, and then The Rock's like, "I love pizza." And then Tom Hanks turns around and goes, "Yeah, we all like pizza."
Huh.
Weird.
That is weird. So I wonder which way he meant it. Tanya's right with that. Which way did he mean
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
It could go
that's
either way. I think
I guess if I saw the video and like the
Yeah.
tone of it, then
you could feel
but
it maybe.
yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm actually worried that I'm too qualified.
It is SNL.
America needs us. No one can seem to agree on anything anymore except for two things: pizza and us. And us.
So was that Tom Hanks that said the pizza thing though?
Oh, The Rock said pizza. Tom Hanks
Two
said
things we can agree on is
two
pizza
things we can agree on, and then The Rock goes pizza and us. So like that's being, I guess. So I guess he didn't.
I guess that means he's in with it. He's in it.
Yeah, that sounds an awful lot like he's like in with
Like he's about it. He's about the pizza.
Yeah, he loves
Or
pizza.
they could be physically talking about pizza.
Yeah, which is what they do, so that you don't know,
Right,
so that you don't know.
right.
Well, yeah, I mean, given the accusations against Tom Hanks, it's kind of a tasteless thing to do.
Right. And
Yeah.
if you look into the Isaac Kappy shit,
Mhm.
bro,
Yeah, I gotta look at that.
you should. Actually there is a podcast, Tinfoil Hat, that was last year maybe. They do an episode on it where they talk to a guy that was like literally investigating it, like investigative journalism on Isaac Kappy. And
I'm gonna put that on my list right now.
Yeah, he kind of thinks that the guy that was ran over wasn't actually Isaac Kappy. So Isaac Kappy was like a small time actor. He was in Thor.
Yeah, I have to. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So
that's crazy that they.
It was the pedophilia thing is like the main thing that fucking bothers me out of everything.
Yeah, of course, because kids can't they don't have the choice.
I mean, 800,000 kids go missing every year.
Every
in
year.
America alone. This isn't including other countries.
Yeah.
And
I have a friend that works. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just it bothers me. So,
Isaac Kappy.
Isaac Kappy. Yep. Isaac, and then Kappy is with a K. Kappy. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll show it.
So supposedly he was like living like a homeless guy.
Yeah.
After everything, and he jumped off a bridge onto a highway and got ran over by a truck. Like a 18-wheeler truck is how he died. So they're calling it a suicide. But
okay, I'm just before you continue, I just looked it up and I found this article that says actor Isaac Kappy died after he forced himself off a bridge on Monday morning. And I just feel like that because forced himself off is in quotations. That's a really weird way to word it.
Yeah, good. Well, because it's also said that
in Arizona,
it's suspected that he may have been pushed.
Yeah. Because forced himself doesn't necessarily mean suicide. Like somebody could have been like, hey, somebody, talking him off the bridge and he was finally just like, all right, I'm going,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like somebody like pressuring him to.
Yeah.
It's considered like a suicide. It's crazy.
Yeah,
or
he
somebody
was
threatening
he
him
was-
or something.
Right, he was all over Tom Hanks, and then the day that either the day or the day after he died, Tom Hanks posted a picture on Instagram of him wearing a white glove, connecting to Disney, and I think him and his wife were on the road, and he had a red scarf in his hand, and then he said roadkill. That was what his thing was on like the description
Wow.
of the picture. And they were like him and his wife were road tripping, and so it was like the RV was in the background, and he's just like roadkill.
Wow. Tom Hanks is
Yeah.
And everybody thinks he's like such a nice guy. You know what I mean?
I used to like him, but I mean, I don't know.
I don't even know anymore with that stuff anymore.
Right.
Like, I don't watch TV or anything. I watch sports because that's all. I mean, I love sports, so I watch sports. I don't really watch
Me
TV.
too.
I don't watch any of the ghost shows. I watch Ghost Brothers because they're just fine men.
Ghost Brothers, I heard about that.
So fun. Like, I want to manifest that so bad. Like, please let us do.
I heard they're pretty funny too.
Like Flight 401 down here with the Ghost Brothers. Like, please, like they are so fun. Like, I mean, and I respect what they do, but
I think it's funny that they're black.
even if they're married, it's okay. I just want to have a good time with them. Like, not like that. No.
They call their
Like,
show Brothers.
yeah, that's the funniest part. I love, and they're funny. They're so funny. Like, they're funny dudes. Like, I could see us, like, I can see my little girl gang going out. I can see us all going out and like making the funny shit that we do. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that happening. Like, even if it's not for like TV, like us going out and having a good time with them. Like, they're funny dudes. And one of them live in Miami. So
nice.
I'm like putting that out in the universe, manifesting that one, because I would love to hang out with the Ghost Brothers. Like, they're so funny to me. But
I've heard good things about. I haven't seen anything that they've done, but I heard a lot of good things about them.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
I was just
like, they're like, why is everybody white? Like, all they, why does everybody have ghosts white? Like, why is everybody white? I mean, you're not wrong.
True.
Like,
that's funny.
I'm kind of wondering the same. Like, we're the dumb ones.
we're the ones that decide to stay. We don't go into the light.
We're the idiots.
I was just telling Christina last week that my kids and I were thinking about taking a trip down to Miami in September.
Yeah, for sure.
Was saying that maybe I could get, because I've never been on an investigation or anything. So
oh man, we'd so take you on an investigation. Yeah, we'd take you for sure.
That'd be fun.
We have some cool spots too, like some cool spots, like and just more keep happening. So it's quite. We didn't expect any of this to happen. To be honest, we just kind of were a few girls that went out doing a couple things. Tim was like, he had left the team and he really wasn't planning on like really making a team so much, but he loved our energy, and like we were kind of like, oh well, fuck, you're not going to be on you're not doing this anymore. You're not doing, like, we were kind of like, man, it kind of sucks. Like, you're the only person that we really liked as far as like going with the old crew that he was with or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That we really like vibed with. And then one night he just kind of talked to Gina and I, and we just kind of decided to like maybe put something together, and it's supposed to be just like a little fun thing. And that's what it was. And then these places just wanted us around more. And it's not like, some people think we took things, or it's like, no, these places reached out to us and said, we love your energy, we love what you guys do, and like, please come, we want you guys here because the guests love you guys, like, because we want them to enjoy it.
Nice.
We really do.
It's good.
It's fun. So it's just getting better and better. So for sure, you come to Miami, we got you. We'll get you at Redland. You want to do overnight at Redland? That'll be a lot of fun. Just don't stay at Homestead. Homestead is not a great area to stay in.
No.
We investigate down there, but I would tell you, if you were going to come down south, I would tell you to find like an Airbnb or some spot, probably more like Fort Lauderdale, because you can do more.
Yeah.
And then just drive down and do an overnight at Redland, or you don't have to do an overnight. You can drive back or whatever, ride with one of us or whatever. We would figure it all out.
Well, so I was looking at specifically Miami because I guess I mean, I'm sure there's other places, but they do like there's actually quite a few hiking trails out over there.
Oh yeah, yeah, I hike all the time. That's what I do. I'm your tour guide for Florida. I am the tour guide. Everybody says, "Where do you get like?" Look, this is my screen. This is my screen, bro. This is my screen. Oh.
Nice.
This is what I do. Wait, and then on the Everglades the other day, I just literally was in the Everglades.
Yeah, that's another place that we want to go. We want to
I go all
go
the time. I
get
go
one of
there all
those
the time.
fucking rent one of those fan boats and go fucking try and see gators.
See, this is the investigation you got to do though. So the investigation that I want to do that I was talking about Ghost Brothers is flight. I think it's 401, could be wrong, but basically there are two flights within like a mile of each other, basically that both crashed into the Everglades, and
yeah, and then there was other planes that got those parts put onto it from that plane that landed in the Everglades. It is 401. I just listened to this whole story on that.
Yeah. So you have to take an airboat out there though, because it didn't crash right beside the road. It crashed out in the Everglades. So you have to take an airboat out to the crash. There is a memorial there, but I mean, do you think spirits hang out at the memorial? No, it would be out in the crash. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, unless you're a wandering spirit, which can happen too. But if like you're stuck over there, we're not walking 2 miles down the Everglades. You can't do that, but you get a boat. You rent a private boat. So we are looking at doing that sometime next year. Just saying. But the airboats are a lot of fun, and if you do a private tour, so much better than a public tour. You come down to do any of that, I got you. I know everybody. That's my jam. The nature, paranormal. It's all about that.
I love nature.
Oh, me too. I am like, you should not like being like promote. You should follow my Instagram that does nature. But if you like nature, that's like, I'm always posting. I took one of the Everglades the other day. Everybody's like, holy shit, where's that at? Right here it is. Yeah, here's a hiking trail in the Everglades.
Nice. That's pretty. I like the way the sky looks.
Yeah, I'm a sky. I drive a convertible. Literally today I was like, this is like today. Like I'm like sky. I'm a sky fanatic. Like I'm driving a convertible in traffic on the 95. Like, look at the sky. Like, look at this. Yeah, I drive a convertible so I can just look at the sky. Like, nice. So good. I love outdoors.
Me too.
But that's why your vibration is high. That's why you have to be outdoors. Thinking about it. So many people have vitamin D deficiency. Do you know vitamin D deficiency is so much bad?
Oh my God. And it's bad for COVID.
It's so like, I get so much sun. Like I'm in the sun all the time. Like my brother's sick. I'd be like, go sit outside.
Yeah. Get you some fucking rays, bro. Get some fucking rays.
Go to that salt water, walk in that salt water and recharge, bitch.
Yeah.
For real.
So
we got you. You come down to Florida, I got you.
We're definitely gonna be coming down. So the kids will most likely won't want to do the ghost shit. So they'll probably have to stay at wherever I'm staying, and they can just do their schoolwork. But other than that, definitely. So we went to Arizona. I just started like trying to do this like travel shit. So, but I was the guy that was on the last episode too. I also want to go out to Indiana and investigate with him. So it'll be pretty interesting. I think I might end up traveling a lot more than I intended to, but I want to travel as much as
I want to do it. We're hoping to do Waverly. We're trying to do Waverly in June.
Ooh, I heard that's a good place too.
Mm-hmm. Trying to do Waverly, trying to make that happen in June. And the couple from Pennsylvania want to do Waverly, want to go in June too. So we're really trying to make that happen. Like sometime in June, we're really trying to make that happen. So, and I'm from Tennessee. So like, there's so many things. There's so many things. I want to do Bell Witch Cave. There's so many things I want to do. I mean, I still haven't explored St. Augustine like that. I mean, it's right the coast.
There's a thing like CERN in near Knoxville.
Oh yeah.
I just heard that a month or two ago.
Yeah, and they have bushy
there's a lot of like alien activity from what I heard.
That's where I'm from, the area. I'm telling you, my sister she's dead set. Like I mean, I still laugh at her because we're just mean to each other like that. Like I just tell
I'd
her,
love to
like, I
talk
mean,
to her about aliens if she
I
wants.
wonder if she would ever do it. I don't know. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I'm more into like. I mean, not that like I believe. I mean, I watched one. I watched shit right here behind my house. My ex's mom and I were sitting on the patio, and we both watched some shit like go like we saw it like right here behind my house. So, you know, I don't know, but my sister is definitely like she can't even watch an alien movie. I'm not joking. She like, and I love to harass her about it because it's funny. I'm like, you have to embrace it, whatever it is. And I mean, for real, she has a mark. I mean, she has a mark on her neck.
Oh wow.
She talks about, I don't know. I mean,
shit.
She doesn't really want to talk. TV's gonna be on at night. You cannot.
Yeah.
It's worse staying in a hotel room with her. I can't take it. I'll pay for her to have her.
I can do a fan. So I sleep with a fan. I cannot do light or like it has to be dark, but I can do. I like feeling the fan. I can't have a TV on.
I used to as a younger sleep with the TV on, but once again, I feel like that's just programming. That's just at night. You're just absorbing that.
Oh yeah.
It's more ions. It's more positive. Whatever ions. Like it's just too much overstimulation.
Yeah, it fucks with your sleep.
I woke up actually when I decided to stop watching TV at night. I woke up in the middle of the night to Marilyn Manson, and I used to listen to a lot of like Manson. I used to listen to a lot. I've seen him live so many times. I used to listen to like, I mean, I used to listen to a lot of metal. Like one of my favorite bands is OTEP, and only people into metal will know who OTEP is. So like Lamb of God, like I used to listen to a lot of that shit. I've been to all those shows, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was some like fucking. It might have even been Tool. It might have been Tool is my favorite band of all time. So it might have even been Tool. One of their videos.
They got the friggin' something
dude.
to them.
Whatever I woke up to that night, I was just like, I'll never watch that. Will never happen again. And since that night, I cannot. Because I used to watch MTV at night. I'm in the 90s. I mean, I was born in the 70s. So like, you know, watching MTV in the 90s as a teenager, you know. So man, I remember waking up, I was like, nope, I will never. I mean, that felt demonic, whatever it was. And it was like, whatever it was, it just felt like, and I could have it could have been in the middle of the night that I wake up in between 3 and 4 is when I wake up. And it could have been something else, but whatever the TV triggered that memory for me. And I was like, nope, good on that.
I used to wake up to those old infomercials.
That's torture. That's more torture than anything demonic.
That was all through the 90s.
And wait, in Florida, when I came to Florida, and you wake up in the middle of the night, it's like pick up the phone. I'm like, what? Or it's all like, oh, phone sex. I'm like, I've never seen this. Like, what? You moved to Florida, the weather girls are like, what is a hot dog girls? I don't understand. I'm from a totally different culture. What do you mean you wake up to that in the middle of the night? 1-800 numbers, pick up the phone. I said, I mean, I think I would rather hear about, I don't know, the fucking George Foreman grill or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, down here, all the weather girls are all like bust. It's totally different. It's
I'm sure.
In Tennessee, they're all weather men. You know what I mean? Like weather men. And then down here, it's like these like girls like in like dresses that we wear to like Fontainebleau. You know, like we're going out tonight. Like no sense, but I gotta give you somehow, I guess.
Yeah. Well. So we're at a little over 2 hours now.
Yeah.
So
is there anything else you'd like to discuss or ask me?
I'll have to have you come back on.
Yeah, at some point.
If I think of there's actually a few things that I wanted to ask you that I haven't gotten into yet.
Okay. Well, anytime.
But obviously you have a lot of things going on, so we'll have to set it up in a month advance or so. So
yeah, something like that. Whenever, if you pretty much if you tell me when, as long as I like. Usually I book things like 2 weeks out. Like my schedule is usually 2 weeks.
Okay.
Everything revolves around like a 2-week schedule, like, you know, all the maintenance. So it all revolves like around a 2-week schedule, and then with work and stuff. So it's just like 2 weeks. If I know 2 weeks out, usually within 2 weeks, I can usually make something happen.
All right. Do you have any thing you want to plug? Anything you want people to know, follow?
Just of course, Haunted South Florida, our website, and hauntedSouthFlorida.org, our Instagram, because we put a lot of work into just making people smile and showing evidence, and we love that. Really, we just want to share our findings and share what we enjoy. So, that's all I want to plug. Just nothing personal, just doing this for for it started as fun, but now it's become a little bit more, and having a good time with it. So
nice.
Love the podcast too. We love talking about it because, like I said, people think you're just fucking nuts, and even on this stuff, people are gonna they will make comments that you're crazy about stuff, and it's
I'm sure
it's just the way it is. You just learn that's the way it is. But it's nice to be able to talk to people that will like listen about it because, like even people when you're only, like I said, my boyfriend has no interest. It's like I don't want to hear about it. It's like I don't know. We dim that. Maybe I'm supposed to be here to like shine a light to people, to help people, instead of it's not always dark. You got to understand, like I said, his mom's coming through for some reason, but I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
So, I really enjoyed you guys. I had a very good time with both of you. Tanya, we got to get her talking more. We got to get you talking more.
Yeah.
I think we do it with the tarot. I think that's
the confidence to interject and talk.
Hey, girl, listen. Fine. I am your girl for that. I got you. I got you. I get classes on this. All right, so I got you. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish.